it's gonna post a tweet with the wrong link. Fuck! I didn't fix it. It posted the wrong tweet, the wrong link in the tweet. Ah, 1 second. Why? I just tweeted out the wrong thing. Okay, I'll edit that, Kika. I'll edit it. If you have a picture that you think is better as a thumbnail, I'll edit it in. I need to go to Twitter right now. Because it tweeted out the wrong thing. I forgot to do the thing. It just puts a tweet out with like that bloody the broken Streamlabs link. That's what it's done. Oh no. Hang on, did it do that? Oh, it didn't even tweet it out. Oh, never mind. Maybe it didn't even work. Oh my god, that thing is so dumb. Welcome, Red Hood. Oh no, Red Hood's waving to someone. I thought that was before they joined. No, Red Hood's waving to someone. Oh bugger, I now got to type this out by hand. Annoying. Give me 1 second to do this. Tweet. We are still relying on Twitter until somebody makes a viable alternative. I should have said Pikmin 4 sweep, not just Pikmin sweep, right? How's my sound on YouTube, by the way? I'll edit it now. I'll edit it now. Where's the thing? I'll edit it now. Oh, not that. How's my audio on YouTube? Yes, everyone, please head over to the YouTube channel, to the live stream. I'll put a link. Sorry that the pre-show went on for so long, but I mean, oh god, that's not the link. That's not the link. There you go. See you there. Yeah, so let's just quickly... Well, I'm going to edit that to Pikmin 4 sweep. And then Kike had a picture. Where did you post that picture, Kike? Oh, Kike's gone. Oh, here it is. What did it say? Pikmin true! Oh my god. This is what you want me to use? Oh my god. Really? I can't, it's just gonna come up as just like a... The problem is that I haven't got anything to put it on top of. It's just gonna come up as just one like blank image like that. Okay. Yeah, it's just gonna be like one image. I haven't got time to edit a thumbnail right now. Is it okay if I like edit it retrospectively, Kika? I mean, I can put it in now. The problem is that, yeah, do you have a fuller one? Because it's just gonna come up as like a small little box. You find that. I'll have to edit it in later, Kika. I think I'll have to edit it in later. But yeah, you find it for me. We're live. Let me check the audio. I'll save this first. Oh, it's a lo-fi too. That's the only thing. It's a lo-fi too loud. It's a lo-fi too. That's the only thing. It's a lo-fi. Oh wait, we're supposed to be playing the eShop one. Never mind. I'll play this eShop one. Oh wait, we're supposed to be playing the eShop one. Never mind. Let me just turn it down. Hopefully it's not too loud. I can send more. If you have something, Kika, I might not be able to do it now that we're live, but I'll do it. Welcome, thank me. Yes, you are. Okay, I sound alright. Let me pause this so you can't hear me double. Yes, you are. Don't worry, I'll be stopping that. There you go. Pop out the chat. Pop out. This music's really relaxing. This is so chill. This is like put us to sleep chill. Remember I had that Kirby one and that was like put us to sleep chill. Do you remember that? Okay, next thing I need to do, and I should have asked Mousy to do this. I need to put out that, tell everyone that we're live. We're live on YouTube with the Russia. Come and watch. Come and watch or call in. Oh my, this is so chill. It's like, oh, this is almost too chill, right? This is like extra chill. How's everyone feeling about this? This lo-fi. This is like wildly chill. Everyone, please hit the like button. Let's go. Super chill. I'm gonna go to sleep at this music. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us for the pre-show. We had a good number of people coming. We must have 10 different people come in and out to watch the pre-show, which unfortunately went on for like 2 hours. But we were doing housekeeping, that's why it went on for so long. Okay, thanks everyone. I'm going to head over to the on-air room, so please join me over on the live stream on YouTube. Bye-bye. Okay. How's everyone feeling about the lo-fi? It's a nice tune. Nicely tuned. It's nicely tuned. Not even a nice tune. It's nicely tuned. Yeah. This is the eShop lo-fi. 3DS eShop specifically. The 3DS eShop had really good music. I'm gonna miss it. It was actually really good. Like, no lie. It was good. No joke. Okay, if everyone's ready, let's begin the show. Hello everybody, and welcome to Game Corner Shop live show. This week we have a music change. This is a special request from Roche, who found us some 3DS eShop lo-fi. That's what this is. It's literally what it is. It's like an hour mix. I like this little on the screen. There's somebody's made like a different animation of what the little, I guess what you'd call this little character. A little mascot for the 3DS eShop used to be, which is like a bag with a smiley face and then a pair of feet underneath. So that's what somebody's made to go along with this very, 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 very chill music. Now, we won't be playing this forever though, because it's an hour long on loop. So obviously I'm not going to play this for the whole show. At some point we will be playing Final Fantasy VII lo-fi. Now, I love Final Fantasy VII lo-fi, but we have had certain people, shall we say, not naming them, who have been complaining about the Final Fantasy VII lo-fi. Right? They say I'm playing it too much, which is not true. It's not true. You can't have too much Final Fantasy VII lo-fi. That's the first thing. But I'm open to playing other music. Now we had Mousy, my wonderful right-hand woman. She wants me to play Zelda lo-fi. So we'll be playing some Zelda as this mix here. This is pretty good. It's made by Game Chops. So it's a very good mix. So we'll be playing that. It's got a lot of different Zelda. I've played it before many times. It's got a lot of different Zelda tracks that are mixed. So it's actually really good. So we'll be playing that. Let's say hi to everybody who's here. Welcome, Dank Meme Center. On mod duty, thank you for coming through. Yeshua, welcome. J2 Blue, welcome. Are you at work, J2? Vinnie Mac, welcome. Of course, the Final Fantasy 7 Lo-Fi for the 10th. You've put Final Fantasy. It's Final Fantasy 7 Lo-Fi. It's specifically. It's not just Final Fantasy in general. I'm playing Final Fantasy 7 Lo-Fi. That's what I was playing. Not just general Final Fantasy, because that's all sorts of different games music. No, just 7. Not even remake. Original 7. Timo, welcome. J. Arthur, welcome. Red Hood, also welcome. Johannes, welcome. Oh, you're at work? Ah, I see. Because I briefly went into OJ's live stream last night. So obviously it's like late for me, right? It's like midnight or whatever, and I saw you in there. So I'm just wondering what time zone you're in. Yeah. Welcome, Necroxid. Hello. Did I pronounce your name right? Necroxid? Is that right? Mousie's here. Mousy. Welcome everybody. How are you feeling about this very, very chill lo-fi, if you can all hear this? Okay, well, let's get the show started. Don't forget, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed. We are a very small niche show, but I still would like to try and grow the audience, so let's try and get more people in. If you hit the like button, if you leave comments, if you subscribe, it helps the algorithm and helps the channel. So I'd really appreciate it if you could do that. Let's start off every week, as we do with the Famitsu sales. But actually, before we do that, I just want to quickly talk about just a tiny bit of housekeeping. I did do this on the pre-show, but over on our Discord server, I've updated stuff like the rules and FAQ, which just explains a bit about the server, the channel, and the YouTube channel and the live show and everything. Because I think when people come in, maybe they get a bit bamboozled, because like there's there's different sections and stuff, and what is this and all that type of thing. So I've basically just explained everything on our Discord server. So also, if you're not on it, I think everyone here is in the Discord server. But if you're not here, do I have an invite? If you're not here, here's an invite. Now, this is one of those expiring invites, but it's okay because it's we already. Where's Streamlabs Spot? Streamlabs Spot should be dropping the link. Where's Streamlabs Spot? Oh, well, Streamlabs Spot isn't here, so here's the link. Necroxid said it doesn't have a correct pronunciation. It's a merge of necrosma and oxide. Okay. The zid is more like zick in toxic. So it's necroxic. Necroxic. Oh, I can't say it. Necroxid? Sick? The zid is more like toxic and toxic. Necroxic. I'm probably saying that wrong, right? Oh no. J2 says it's almost noon here. It's usually the afternoon when OJ streams, so I'm off by that time. Oh, okay. So are you like on the West Coast then, where OJ is? Are you also on West Coast? Because he's like 8 hours behind me or something like that. So unfortunately, I can't always catch the show live. When you see me in there, it's late, and it's because I can't sleep. When you see me there, Timor not really used to Discord. Yeah, it's at first it can be a little bit confusing. It took me a while to get used to it as well, to be honest with you. So yeah, I understand. It's like it's a learning curve. It's not that crazy complicated, but I can understand why it might at first you might be confused. Now I don't know where Streamlabs bot is. Streamlabs bot normally shows up and drops a link, but there's a link there if anyone's not a member. Oh, it's Central Time. Okay, right. Dankmean says it's more confusing now than when I tap in. What does that mean? It's more confusing now than when I tap in. I have no idea what that means, Dank. I just don't know. What does that mean? Now Coxid says, yeah, same, I use Telegram a lot more. Oh, okay. Yeah, so yeah, yeah, just to finish up the housekeeping. I've updated that. There's other things that are going to be updated with the FAQ and everything, and then I'm gonna do some technical stuff with like make sure the bots are running correctly and everything, get that all set up, and then I'm gonna move on to the rebranding and everything, because that still is not finished. I still have like the Jodie and Genki banner and everything. So I need to sort that. I need to sort all of that out. So just give me a while. We're going to get that sorted. It's a work in progress. If you go and look over on our Discord server, under the notice board, there's a thread that's called Roadmap, and you can see everything that I have planned for the chat, for the server and YouTube channel. Okay, now that's out of the way. Let's get started with the show. Now, we got to talk about these Famitsu sales, right? We got to talk about these Famitsu sales. This week was kind of wild, and people were wilding about the Famitsu sales, and you'll see why. You know, why people, was it that exciting? Why are people wilding? Well, I will show you when I get this link. Not that one, this one. Okay, we're going to talk about this, right? So there was only like a few new releases, right? But the big one is Pikmin 4. Now Pikmin is not historically been a big franchise for Nintendo. This is like what I would call a C tier franchise, as in it's never had just a brand new release that has sold over 2 million. Now I think if you add together the original release of Pikmin 3 and then Pikmin 3 Deluxe, it gets you to like 2 or 3 million, right? But it's never like released and sold it's like 1 point something million each entry. So this launch in Japan has been huge. It's number one on the Famitsu chart, of course, and it launched with 401.8 thousand, which for Pikmin is absolutely enormous. Like, I think if you like add together all the previous launches of Pikmin games in Japan, like the first 3, I think not Deluxe. I'm not sure if it works if you include Deluxe, but then it's like more than all those added together. So this is pretty good for the franchise, right? And it shows that if you launch this, because this franchise has never really had much of a chance, you know. It was on the GameCube, which is kind of a failed console, then the Wii U, which is a failed console. It never really had a chance. And then there was that Hey Pikmin that I had on 3DS. I mean, that was like it was like a platformer basically. It wasn't really like the main games, so it's never really been on a super successful console. I know they had in Japan, they had those they did put it on the Wii in Japan. They had the new play control thing where they obviously you could use the Wii remote, but it's never actually launched on a successful console, right? So this is the first time, and yeah, this is huge. So it's the biggest launch ever for Pikmin. It's one of the biggest launches of the year, behind Tears of the Kingdom and well, not behind Final Fantasy. It's in front of Final Fantasy 16. We'll discuss that in a second. Okay, we'll get to that. But yeah, behind, I think it's the biggest launch behind Tears of the Kingdom, and then it's Final Fantasy 16, I believe. So very big, and the sell through. This is a kind of a good sell through that you want to see for. Again, you don't want it like if this just came in, it's completely like a red bar already. Like that means that there's probably some shortages or something, but because it's sold through 60 to 80%. I think this means 60 to 80%, right? Let me check. What did media create? What did they say over in the store? Where is this? Let's see. Okay, so they put 60 to 80%. So 60 to 80% sell through, which is pretty good. So it means there's still some on store shelves. So I think that's good. What does everyone here think about these Pikmin? That's what people are saying. Kike has been saying that. Kike. So good news for the franchise. Let's look at some of the rest of the chart. At number 2, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That sold an additional 15.6 thousand. And I believe that... Hang on. Let's look at this. Oh, I've got this one here. Okay, so that dropped 14% compared to last week. At number 3, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, an additional 10.7 thousand. Number 4, we have the second of our new releases. This is Nobunaga's Ambition Rebirth with Power Up Kit. Now, I'm not that familiar with Nobunaga's Ambition, but I believe this is like an enhanced version of the game they released last year. And I did tweet out, I did. I found the the previous sales figures. So this one's interesting. If we look at this, we have the Switch and the PS4 versions right next to each other. So number 4 is the Switch version with 10.6 thousand, and number 5 is the PS4 version with 10.4 thousand. It's basically 50-50, right? So what's interesting about that is it's the first Nobunaga's Ambition game to launch at 50-50 split. I believe this was another game that was maybe PlayStation only at some point. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, most of the player base for this game was on PlayStation, as you'll see here with these sales. In 2017, Nobunaga's Ambition Taishi was released, and that sold 35,000 on the PlayStation 4 and 5.7 thousand on the Switch. In 2019, Nobunaga's Ambition Taishi with Power Up Kit was released. Now this is another enhanced version, right? So that was in 2019. So that sold 12,000 on the PlayStation 4 and 3.9 thousand on the Switch. In 2022, Nobunaga's Ambition Rebirth was released, right? So that's the older version of the game that's come out now. And that sold 23.4 thousand on the PlayStation 4 and 21.7 thousand on the Nintendo Switch. So you'll see that the gap has significantly narrowed from 2017 to 2022. And then this year, with Nobunaga's Ambition Awakening, as I said, it's 10.6 thousand on the Nintendo Switch and 10.4 thousand on the PlayStation 4. So only just more on the Switch, but it's within a margin of error, so they're basically the same. You might as well just say they're the same, because it's, the numbers aren't exact, so it's within a margin of error, right? So you'll see here with these sales that it took a long time, but Koei Tecmo managed to actually grow an audience for this series on the Switch with consistent day-and-date releases. If they hadn't have done that, then you would have at least, they'd have at least 50% less sales for this release of this game, basically. So let me check what everyone's saying here. What happened? Why did this stuff close up? Let me just check the live chat. Johannes says the Wii Shop music was a banger. Johannes, maybe you wasn't here for the earlier shows, but I used to play the Wii Shop music at the early. I think the ones I did with Genki. If you go and look at the old ones, I think I played the Wii Shop music then. Miyamoto's very happy right now. I know. I saw some memes that people are posting about Miyamoto looking happy. Yeah, good stuff. Oh man, I missed a load of comments on here on the YouTube channel. Okay, I'm looking at different chats. Dan Community Centers, this Discord of today versus 2017 Discord. I'm not sure I know what you're okay, you're referring to the comment you made before, I guess. Oh, okay, so it's more, Discord is more confusing. I get that. It's not, Discord is kind of, it does, I don't think it's a good job I don't think they do a good job of explaining what everything is in Discord. It took me ages to figure out everything. I don't think they do a good job of explaining it at all. One sec. Okay, Nacoxid says, the thing that surprised me today, along with the sales released, is that the sell-through is 60 to 80% and not 80 to 100%. Yeah, so I was talking about that, and I kind of feel that it's better, that it's in a way, right? Because 80 to 100% can mean that there's shortages of the game. Although it's good to see a high sell-through, sometimes you see the high sell-through and then you hear about shortages. So there's no shortages, and I'm also confident that the rest of the stock will sell through, because obviously if it's sold that well in the first week, the rest of the stock will sell through, and then there will be additional shipments. So I don't feel too bad. Like, I don't feel like it's too bad to have like an orange bar for a game that sold 400,000 in the first week. That's pretty good, because it means that the rest of it's going to sell through. Now if it had, you know, if it was like a lower selling game, even if it was a lower selling game, I don't know, orange bars would be good. I would call that good. Even when it's like a green bar, it's like 60 to 40%. That's not too bad. It depends on the game as well, though, like what your expectations are for the game, because sometimes it can be good because oh, okay, it's pretty obvious the rest of the stock is going to sell through, but then sometimes it's obvious, no, I don't think the stock is going to sell through when it's like that, and then the game only sold 1,000 copies or something like that, right? Dan Kameem says, Pikmin finally launching on a thriving sound system. Good to see. Yes. It just goes to show if the series can have a chance if it's on the right platform with an actual audience that's interested in it. But this game has launched in absolutely enormous, like, I'll be honest, my expectations, I forgot what I bet on install base. I can't remember what I bet. But I was like, okay, it's going to be over 200,000. Is it going to be over 300,000? As it was getting closer, I was like, I think it could be over 300,000. But I wasn't like 100% sure about that. I wasn't like going to put money on it. If it had launched at like 280,000, I wouldn't have been surprised. I wouldn't have said, oh, that's low. I'd be like, oh no, that's good. The fact that it's 400,000 is what is kind of blown me away and a lot of other people. Mario DK says, Pikmin 3... plus Pikmin 3 Deluxe is 3 million plus total. Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah. With this start, I shouldn't be surprised to see Pikmin 4 hit 4 million LTD. That'd be good. And the Coxid chimes in, I say at least 5 million LTD. If that's what I'm saying, if Pikmin is now could sell 4 to 5 million, then then you're talking about, now it's a B tier franchise, right? Mario DK says, even the niche titles are starting to lean towards Switch. Yeah, so we can talk about that a little bit when we look at the rest of this chart. So let's look at this. So those are our first two new releases. Now let's get a few of the other ones out of the way. The old games. Number 6 is Minecraft with 7.5 thousand. Number 7 is Splatoon 3 with 6.3 thousand. Number 8 is Nintendo Switch Sports with 5.7 thousand. Number 9 is Final Fantasy 16 with 4.9 thousand. Number 10 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with 4.8 thousand. Now, I just wanted to go over the top 10 and then look a bit down the chart. Now we still have a Raincoat still holding on at number 16, which is pretty good. That sold 2.8, an additional 2.8 thousand, a total 72,000. So it looks like with digital, this is going to get over 100,000, which is really good for a new IP of like a niche kind of detective visual novel type game, right? And I believe the publisher and the studio have plans for this series, like an anime and manga. So so they're trying to do like the multimedia thing that they did with Danganronpa, right? The same type of thing. At number 17, Kirby We Deluxe. And then this is what I want to talk about. So we have at number 18, Atelier Marie Remake. This is the Switch version. The other two versions have gone from the charts. There was a PS5 version and there was a PS4 version. What did they sell last week? I've forgotten. Does anyone know? Oh my god, I'm going to have to look it up, right? What did they sell last week? Wait, hold up. I'll look it up. We're doing it live. What did they sell last week? Okay, so last week the PlayStation 5 version launched with 5,078, and the PS4 version launched with 3,402. So, oh man, they both just dusted from the chart. What's at the bottom of the chart? So the bottom of the chart of this week's chart is 1,603. So they didn't even sell that much. They dropped instantly out of the chart. So yeah. Now chiming into who said that about the niche games or something? Who was it said that? Oh my god, I can't remember. Oh sorry, it's Melody K. Sorry, I just had to check and see who said that. So Atelier Marie. Now the Atelier games are fairly popular in themselves, but this is a remake, right, of a PS1 game. So when you get a remake, they just tend to not sell as much as whatever the original sold. So this game did, when you added up all the versions, how much was it when you added up all the versions? I forgot. Someone do the maths on that for me. I don't know. But when you added up the versions, it was okay. It was okay. First week for Atelier Marie Remake. Now, what's unfortunate is that, as I said, the other two versions have dropped from the chart. Now, even the Switch version has dropped like probably 80%, right? I don't know. Let me check. How much did it drop? Is it 80%? Let's have a look on here. I can't see on here. Yes, 84%, which is quite a big drop. 80% would be about what you'd expect for an RPG. So this is 84%. This is over that. So it's quite a lot to drop. So it means that the other two versions, I mean, they had a higher drop. So that drop is a bit above. Yeah, it's a bit above like the average for an RPG. But the other two must have dropped really hard. Now, so you're not saying Atelier Marie or Atelier is like fairly popular, but this is a remake, right? So it's leaning to more the niche side that Mario DK is referring to, right? In terms of like the overall appeal or whatever. So some games, that's what's happening with some games like this, is that the PlayStation versions are dropping out of the chart really fast. So it's unfortunate that those dropped out like after 1 week. And it's also, we have on our Discord server, we have like weekly bets, and it meant everybody lost it because I didn't think that was going to drop out of the chart, right? So when we have to do the weekly bet, I bet on that. I think that there would be 3 PlayStation titles or something like that. But anyway, everyone lost because none of us thought that they were going to drop out of the chart, or completely out of the chart. I thought they would still be in the top 30. So everyone lost that bet. But yeah, it's like yeah, so this is happening. So I think Mary DK, I think you've spoken about this before as well. It seems like what's happened is that the audience that's left on PlayStation in Japan is like really hardcore, like Wales basically, is what's left there. And you know, there's only certain types of games that they want, and like kind of like Atelier Marie ain't it, if you see what I mean. So that's why it's not sort of those sort of niche games are just not selling as well. They're like the audience that's left is Wales basically. So I think that's why the software that we're seeing is skewed with certain games selling well. So I think, like, for example, when Resident Evil 4 remake, the 4 remake that released earlier this year, at the time, I can't remember what it sold now, but at the time it did okay for, you know, if you compared it to, it was a remake, but if you compared it to the other past Resident Evils, I think it did okay. Like it passed the past Resident Evil remakes. Oh god, I'm gonna have to search now. Where's the game search thing? Resident Evil. Look, I've searched for it before in the past. You can see. Not that. No. Show me old ones. I need the new ones. So yeah, so the PS4 version of Resident Evil 4 was 85,000 first week, and the PS5 version was 89,000 first week. And if we compare that to, what's the other remake? Resident Evil. I guess we've got to compare it to 2, right? Not 3. Did 3? Yeah, here's 3. 3 was 189,000 first week. The Kirby barrier. That is the Kirby barrier, by the way. It managed to get to the Kirby barrier. And I'm not explaining what that is again. You just have to go to the Discord server and type in Kirby barrier with the first letter of each capitalized, and you'll see what it is. What is 85? What's 85,000 plus 89,000? What's the maths on that? Oh my god, I have to work it out. It's like 184,000. Wait, let me get my calculator. Can anyone do quick maths? Oh, I'm getting my calculator out. Okay. 85,000 plus 89. Oh, thank you. You did faster. 170. Okay, it was 175,000. Thank you. Yes. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do. Okay, so the 2 versions of Resident Evil 4 was 174,000. If we look back at Resident Evil, thank you, Johannes. Actually, do you know what, Johannes? You get a J point for that. I'm gonna give you a J point. Hang on a sec. What did I think? It's give rep, isn't it? Give Johannes. Right, thank you. Okay, a second. Okay, so basically, so it's 175,000 for those 2 versions. So if we look back at Resident Evil, now I'm going to compare it to the remakes, right? Resident Evil 3 was 189,000 when that came out in 2020, and Resident Evil 2 was 265,000. So obviously, it's less than the 265,000 in 2019 for Resident Evil 2 remake. Resident Evil 3 remake, in general, that game wasn't as well received as Resident Evil 2. I think it's fair to say there was some criticisms of that, so that's one thing that affected sales. But 175,000 is within spitting distance of 189,000. There is a drop, obviously, and you probably would have expected to see Resident Evil 4 sell more, so it's one of the more popular ones. But I think actually the most popular Resident Evil is like it's like 5 or 6 in Japan. It's not even that the one you would think it would be. I think it's maybe 5 or 6. Hang on a sec. Which, let me see. No, it's 2. The original 2. The original 2 on the PS1. It's the most popular. But Resident Evil, yes, this is what I meant. So Resident Evil 6 and Resident Evil 5 are more popular than 4. The original 4. The original 4 that was like on GameCube and PS2, was it? Yeah, here, this one. GameCube and I think it was on PS2 or I can't remember which one. So yeah, so the most popular one, you see how far Resident Evil has fallen in Japan. It used to be able to sell over 1 million, not anymore. So even Resident Evil 6 was 643,000. It's absolutely wild. It's absolutely wild. Resident Evil 5 has already dropped in half by that point. 321,000. It's already halved. And then it was just it's just a general trend. Down, 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 down. Obviously this is listed in down, but if you put the release date, it's like it goes down. So yeah, the higher the number you get. So anyway, my point is like niche games versus like whale games. This is like a whale game, right? So hardcore people are wanting to play Resident Evil. It's more of a hardcore game than a casual game. Even though it's popular, it's... Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean by like hardcore versus more niche? Mousy says it's like 16 to 8. What is? It's a little over 24k. Do you mean Talia Marie? Was it 24k altogether? 16 to 8,000. Oh, okay. So you mean the Switch version was 16,000, and the PlayStation versions were like 8,000 together, right? Yeah, Elden Ring. Yeah, Elden Ring is another really good example. So Elden Ring launched in last year, right? Elden Ring was last year, wasn't it? Hang on. Elden Ring. Yeah, Elden Ring is another good example of what I'm calling about hardcore. This sold extremely well. So look at the sales. It was 2022, right? So 188,000 plus 90,000. Who can do the quick maths on that? I have to get where's the calculator? I'll get the calculator. Hang on. 188 plus 9. Okay, so it's 278,000. So comfortably past the Kirby barrier, very, very comfortably past the Kirby barrier. But that was in 2022, right? So, and you notice the PS4 version sold twice as much as the PlayStation 5 version in 2022. Now, if that was to release now, you'd probably see that reversed, because PS4 version sales have dropped. But yeah, Elden Ring again is another example of a more hardcore game that sold well. When you include the digital, including the PC sales, it sold like 1 million in Japan. And you include obviously PC, it's big on PC. Probably bigger on PC than PlayStation. Hardcore. What the hell is that meme? Oh wait, hang on. I said I would show some of these memes on the show. One sec. Where is it? This one. No, you can't see it. Can you see it? This one? No, not that. Oh no, because I haven't linked it in. Oh my god, it's so dumb. Why do I have to do this every time? Why? Okay, now you can see it. Now, unfortunately, now I know these things don't line up and it's covering up, whatever. It's covering up, and the other thing is I have to actually navigate it to it so you can see it moving. Otherwise, you can't see the GIF. There you go. That's what Kike posted in the live chat. From the office, I guess. Right. Okay. Let's close that. So yeah, Elden Ring's a very good example of what I was talking about. So that's what seems to have happened with the PlayStation software sales in general. Now, when we're talking about the year with PlayStation software sales, because what's happened is, like, if you go into a store-based forum, for example, a new member came in the other day and said, "Oh, the PS5 seems to be selling like 50,000 units every day, but how comes the PS5 software is so low?" And everyone's like, "Oh, that's the $1 million question. Like, well, why nobody really? Everyone's got like different theories and stuff and different things. I happen to think it's a combination of different things to why that's the situation. I don't think it's any one thing. I think I've expressed this before. And my opinion is that I think it was something that was happening anyway. I think the PlayStation was in decline anyway. That was already happening before the PlayStation 5. I think what happened with the PlayStation 5, the situation with the PlayStation 5, I think basically accelerated what was already happening. I think because there ended up being, obviously nobody predicted the pandemic was going to happen, right? But that happened, and it led to a shortage of components, which obviously affected everything, including the production of the new consoles. And Sony, because they are no longer sort of prioritizing Japan at all, they was prioritizing the West, especially the US, to compete with Microsoft's Xbox, right? So they were not selling that many units, sending that many units to Japan in the first place. Like, of their allocation that they had, there wasn't many. So it was like kind of very severely supply constrained for a long time, until at the beginning of this year all of that eased up and it's now normal. And then there was a surge for like 3-4 weeks of PlayStation 5s that were bought. Obviously people in Japan finally able to get them, and then it just dropped down to like this kind of 50k-ish every week kind of thing. But then the interesting thing, there's been literally no impact on software whatsoever at all. If anything, it's just continuing to drop. You'd expect that there would have been something, especially in the weeks when the PlayStation 5 did sell those 100k, for those 100k weeks. There was no PlayStation 5 software in the chart, and people were like, what is going on? So yeah, scalping obviously was a contributor to that, and now you can call it exporting now, people buying PlayStation 5s from other countries because the yen is weak, so it's kind of can be cheaper for other countries, especially like China and stuff like that. But I think that's not the only answer. I think that's happening, and then also just the general apathy and disinterest in PlayStation in general, I think is what's happening. Now to jump off of that, we can now talk about the I'm gonna come back to this whole Pikmin and Final Fantasy thing in a second, but I want to talk about the hardware sales, PlayStation and Switch hardware sales in Japan. So here we go, and as I wrote here on whatever this site's called, who knows what this site's called anymore? It used to be called Twitter, but what's going on over there? This is why I'm on Discord. Come and join the Discord. Actually, did Streamlabs bot show up? What happened to Streamlabs bot? Oh no. I think Streamlabs bot died. Oh no. Anyway, there's a link there. It's just annoying because it won't be there on the replay. Oh god. Anyway, so I said there's only a very modest increase for Switch, despite the huge debut of Pikmin 4, and indeed, last week the Switch sold 64.9 thousand, and this week it was 71.1 thousand. So it's a very, very small increase, but Pikmin 4 was huge. Now, to be fair, it wasn't that low in the first place. I mean, 64,000, This console's like 7 years. Isn't it in its 7th year now? How this console is selling this much is wild, because the DS had dropped off by this point. If you launch and line them, I think the DS had already started dropping off at this point. So not even the DS although the DS sold more overall, because in the beginning it sold more, it didn't sustain it for as long as what the Switch is sustaining it. The high sales. So it's pretty decent, and especially when you compare this to last year this time, it sold 69,000. So this week, the Switch sold more than a year ago. That's slightly more, a couple of thousand more. So it hasn't like dropped that much really. Well, it hasn't dropped at all, I don't think. I think if you do the total, it's behind. Yeah, okay, so you can see year to date this year here for the Switch is 2,271,136, and last year to date was 2,479,432. Now I think the reason it's behind is because of Pokemon Legends Arceus, isn't it? Didn't that launch at like January last year? So I think that's the reason that it's behind. I'm sure that was January 2022. I think it was. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, I think that's the reason basically for that. Yeah, the other thing to note is if you look at the lifetime to date, Switch is very close to, it just missed this week 30 million, so it will hit that next week. Similarly, the PlayStation 5 also has a milestone coming up, and it will hit 4 million next week also, which is just coincidental that it lined up like that. So 4 million for PlayStation 5 will hit next week. So let's talk about PlayStation 5. This week the PlayStation 5 sold 46.5 thousand. Last week it was 45.4 thousand. So this baseline seems to be around 40,000. And you can even look and see year over year. Like this time last year, when it was still supply constrained, it was 11,000, right? So obviously the supply has eased up and normalized now. So this seems to be a baseline of like 50,000 for PlayStation 5, which is good. What's not good is the software sales and the tie ratio being so low. Like, it's ridiculously low. I think if you add together all of this week's software, hang on, forward, right? No, forward, back. We're back. If you add together this week, it's only a few thousand, right? Let me have a look. What is it? Yeah, this week PS4 was 10,000, PS5 was 6,000. Is that 16,000? 16,000, right? Yeah. So how's only 16,000 pieces of software selling, but then the hardware is 45,000? Like every week is like this, apart from when Final Fantasy released. So yes, people are right to question. New people come in to the install base forum and or to the sales community and asking like, I don't understand, why is it selling 45,000, 50,000 and then selling that much? Yeah, I mean nobody knows the exact answer. I also saw on install base somebody said something like, oh, I wish somebody would ask Sony about this. The funny thing is that kind of happens, yeah. Like in the last interview that Jim Ryan had with Famitsu magazine, he was kind of they asked him, like, it must have been like in 10 different questions, like phrased different ways. What is up with the software sales? What are you going to do for Japan? what are you going to do? Like, I mean, there was an episode where we went over this back in May. Me and some other people from the sales community went over that interview. It was really funny because of the fact that the interviewer was trying to get Jim Ryan to explain, like, what are you doing for Japan? And Jim Ryan was like, oh, but Elden Ring, look, Elden Ring. It's doing. It's like, and the interviewer was like, yeah, but like, you know, what's Sony doing for Japan? And then he's like, oh, we had Ghost of Tsushima that sold 1 million. It sold 1 million. So yeah, that was about the size of that. So yeah, I don't know if any like media outlet is gonna be like more forward and asking like more directly about like, what is up? What is up with this? Why is this software so low in Japan? What's going on? What are you doing? I think, actually, I said this before, I think that Q device, I think low key, like, Sony is hoping that takes off in Japan. Now, the reason I think that is because, yes, it is a streaming device that's not, and it's unfortunate. I would much rather it would be like a native, you know, like a regular handheld, right? With native games on it. But that's not what it is. Now, it did leak some, what seems like factory, from factory, or someone that's manufacturing at the factory. Obviously, they have it. They're making it now because they're releasing this later this year. Right? So they have to be making them now. If you're going to make hundreds of thousands or millions of them, you need to start now. So it leaked, and it looked like there was like a stock Android running on this tablet. It looks like a tablet with like half a DualSense on either end. Is what it looks like, right? And it looked like it was running stock Android on it. So maybe you can get some use out of it playing some games from on the Google Play Store or something like that. But the reason why I think this Q device that Sony's hoping is that although this is not a native device, it's still going to be on store shelves in Japan. It's going to have store shelf presence. You're going to go into a store and you're going to see it, right? And as far as we know, in order to play PlayStation 5 games, you need to actually have the PlayStation 5. But maybe they're thinking, oh, that might catch people's eye in the stores and stuff like that. And when obviously there's going to be adverts as well. And, you know, people are like, oh, you know, maybe I will consider a PlayStation 5 because I don't need to be sitting at home in front of the television playing it. I can play it on this streaming device. You know, maybe that's what Sony's thinking. But I'm just kind of thinking aloud here. I don't know. Kika says, Project Q will save Japan. Yeah, I don't know about that, Kika. I don't think Kika's being serious, Redhead. So now is the time for anyone who wants to come into the waiting room and come onto the show. You can do so. If anyone wants to chat and join in, join the waiting room, and then please do DM me to tell me that you're in there, because sometimes people join and I just have no idea, and they're sitting in there. Oh no, Jim Ryan. What is that from? Where he's laughing? I guess it's some conference or interview or something, and he just, you know, maybe someone told a joke or something. But that's got me to hell. Hang on, I'll show it on the show. A sec. This is what Kika's looking at, or what Kika wrote, what Kika sent. Sorry. Jim Ryan laughing at like a conference or something. He's like, I imagine that's what his laugh sounds like. That's how it looks like he's laughing. So yeah, that's what I kind of think with Project Q. It's hard to be sure because we don't know the pricing and the features of this. So it could be maybe you can do more things if it is running Android. Maybe there's more things you can do with it. But we're not 100% sure yet, to be honest. I think if it's running Android, that will entice more people to buy it than maybe wouldn't have otherwise, I think. So now what we're going to do is turn off this Discord right here, and then also we've been playing this eShop music for long enough. I think it's very chilled, really nice. I actually really like it, but oh my god, we've been played nearly the whole hour of it. That's wild, but we're stopping that and just play this Zelda lo-fi. I don't think Mouse is even here, but anyway, Mousey requested Zelda lo-fi. It's a bit loud, isn't it? Zelda lo-fi. This is a pretty good mix. I like this. Obviously not as good as Final Fantasy VII lo-fi, but whatever, we'll play this one. Okay, so let's talk about these Pikmin 4 versus Final Fantasy 16 sales. Now, obviously when we're talking about that, that's not normally a comparison. What do you mean, what, Mousey? Mousey's what? What? Mousey, you requested Zelda lo-fi. I'm playing it. Why do you think I'm not here? I don't know, because I guess you're not talking, but I guess you're working, right? Mousey's actually doing work. She's not skiving off for once. That's why I thought he wasn't here, because he wasn't skiving. Yes, I'm playing the Zelda lo-fi as requested, Mousey, as requested. If anyone has any requests for music, what I normally do is I play the music in the pre-show just to see if it's alright. But I prefer something that's like lo-fi or chill, just because I don't want crazy hyper music over this. I think it's better with a chill vibe. That's why Sonic music is banned, by the way. Sonic music is banned. I don't care if you say it's Sonic lo-fi. I don't care. It's banned. That's the rules. If you want to know why, ask Jago. Jago will explain to you why Sonic music is banned. So, okay. Now, as I was saying, you wouldn't normally pit Pikmin against Final Fantasy. That's absolutely crazy, because that's like a David and Goliath fight, with Final Fantasy being Goliath. That's how it would have been historically, obviously. But recently, with what's happened in Japan, you have a situation where really it's a combination of things. It's because the Final Fantasy has declined so much as a brand, and its selling power has declined so much in Japan, that Pikmin, which is a C tier Nintendo franchise, it's, you know, they never really sold more than a couple of million. With Pikmin 3, you have to add together the original release and the deluxe version in order to get to 3 million. So I don't think that really counts as a new release selling that much, right? But it's never sold more than a couple of million. So you wouldn't normally put those two together. Even you wouldn't compare those in a million years. So for Pikmin 4 to outsell Final Fantasy 16 in Japan is wild, actually. It's actually wild. But so it's a combination of things. It's like, what do you mean it's cap? You come and tell me it's cap, J2. J2, come and tell me it's cap. Come, I'm ready. Tell me it's cap. Why is it cap, J2? So let's talk about this a little bit. Now, where's Gamatsu? Yeah, other Gamatsu one I got. You think I have all this stuff organised here, and then I can't even do it. So this is Gamatsu. Now they post this Zelda lo-fi better than Final Fantasy lo-fi. No, it's not. Who said that? How is that cap? What are you talking about? Finimax says do it, put her in her place. Oh no. It begins. Oh my god. I've seen your meme. Well, okay, I'll show this meme. The hell? It's like a Pokemon meme. He's calling it cap. JT, you've lost your mind. Okay. I don't know what's happening here. Everyone's revolting again in the goddamn Discord server as per usual. Listen, look, I like the Final Fantasy VII lo-fi. And yes, one of the main people complaining was J2. And what's this one? Sonic. Yeah, Sonic's not allowed. The Sonic music is not allowed. By the way, not only not on the show, in the server, you can't play. It's banned. Sonic music is banned in the server as well. Ask Jago, he'll tell you why. Yeah, how is it cap? Can you please? I don't understand. Look, why are you getting like heart reactions? I don't think so. It's not cap. What the? Mousy just gave J2 a J point for that. How did that deserve a J point? I don't, Mousy. I don't think so, Mousy. Mousy giving out J points. Oh my god. No, I listen. It's subjective, but subjectively, Final Fantasy VII Lo-Fi is better than Zelda Lo-Fi. I don't even know why we're even discussing this. This is not, you know, this is off topic. Number one. Number two. I don't know, man. People would argue, I don't know if anyone, there are people that argue that Final Fantasy music is better, but it's personal taste, I guess. They're both good. Oh, you corrected it. You've corrected it to put lo-fi. Oh, that lo-fi. This lo-fi mix is good. I will say that. I have played some other Zelda lo-fi music that wasn't as good, nowhere near as good as this particular mix. So I found some other one and it just wasn't. I just wasn't feeling it. This particular one is actually very good. I like that it's different theme, from different a lot of different games, including the older ones and stuff like that. A result would be Kike playing Sonic music. How the hell would Kike be able to play Sonic music on my show, Mousy? How would he be able to do that? It's not possible. I'm in charge. You can't do it. This mix is divine. Yeah, it's pretty good, right? So this is Mousy's favourite mixer. That's why we're playing it. Redhead says, I prefer Persona's OSTs than modern Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy has some good tunes, I won't lie. Yeah, for sure. I can play Persona if you want, but not, I don't think like that, but not Persona 5 though, because just that, it's just like, I really like the music, but it's just been played so much, you know, like, I didn't say no Persona music. I didn't say that. I said yes Persona music, but maybe not Persona 5 just because it's like, I don't know, I'm kind of a bit bored of it. Like, it's been played so much. But yeah, maybe it's, if there's some remixes of, I really like Persona 4 music. Persona 4. I guess because it reminds me of like 2020 when I was in lockdown in my flat by myself playing it. On the Vita. Back then. You can play. I said I would play Persona! Oh my god! Why is there an angry face? I said Persona. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Some of the Persona 5 music is hyper. And the Persona, yeah, some of it's, not all of it's hyper though. I didn't say Persona music was too hype. Oh my god. Some of it is hype, yeah, some of it's too hyper. But some of it's kind of chill. It depends. Or if you can find some lo-fi remixes, then I'll play that. But yeah, chill. I'll play chill Persona music, but not the battle music and all of that. We won't have that. It's too hyper. Atelier. Well, if you find me some Atelier lo-fi, how about that, Mousy? You find me Atelier lo-fi. Because I don't know. I don't know. I've never even heard Atelier music. You find me some Atelier lo-fi. And then maybe we'll play it. How about that, Mousy? For next week. Okay, let's get back to this. So, oh, look at this. Oh wait, hold up. The comments here. MoDK says, 0.16 tie ratio for the PS5 disc version this week. Good lord. This week. Even tripling it is still below 1.5. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's really bad. Yeah, and Mario DK is only talking about the actual disc version. Mario DK is not including the digital edition. So yeah, if you compare the disc version PS5 to the number of physical media that was sold. Sorry about the motorbike. The tie ratio is 0.16. Yeah, that's quite bad. Oh, Streamlabs box showed up. Thank you. Why do you think it's so long to show up? Mousy says, oh, and he talked about Horizon being popular in Japan. Oh, yeah, he did in an interview. J2 Blue in the Sky. Did he actually say that it's popular? I don't know if I'd say that. I think that's going a bit too far. It did okay for a Western game, I guess. It's popular. I don't know about that. Forbidden West sold overperformed in Japan because it was bundled, right? All of last year it was well, not all of last year, but last year it was there was bundles, right? So okay, about an hour into the show, let's talk about this now. The reason I'm bringing this up because people were wilding on Gamatsu, right? Now, it's been a while since there's been like some really good wilding on Gamatsu. It used to be like that a lot. It used to be a lot of wilding. But then Sal, the guy who runs the site, I think he banned a whole bunch of people. So you went over there and read the comments and it was boring, right? But now, the wilding is back. And you'll see why, because of these Pikmin 4 sales. It's absolutely wild. Okay, so let's look at these comments a little bit. Okay, so we've got oldest. No, it's newest. So we do oldest to newest. Okay, so let's look at these. Someone calls Raiden Shogun says, "Wow, Pikmin is now a bigger franchise than Final Fantasy in Japan. I'm expecting some big numbers from the West as well. Crazy times. Switch is selling like hotcakes. It's totally amusing to see for a 7-year-old console. It's doing incredible." Celine says, well, there are 20 million more Switch on the market than PS5, laughing my A off. Or I can say arse, I guess. Laughing my arse off. So percentage-wise, the adoption, I think they mean adoption rate is lower than Final Fantasy 16. If you want to spin it that way. This is what I'm talking about. Kamarobi says, doesn't change the fact that it only sold 400k. Raiden Shogun says, only 400k? That's too much, especially for a niche franchise like Pikmin. And then Junsui no Hoseki, who I know for a fact, I know that this is Rivera. What's the name again? Rivera. Oh my god. I'm just going back with Riveria, who's on my server as well. What's their name again? I know for a fact it's them. I know it's them because they talk exactly the same way. It's definitely, you know who I'm talking about, right? Oh my god, what is their name? I feel bad now. I can't remember their exact name. It's Rivera, right? Or god. No, sorry. Let's say Arurana Riva. It's Arurana Riva. I know it's Arurana Riva. If you're listening to this, I know this is you. I know that this Junsui no Hoseki, I know that is you, alright? I just know. Because you talk exactly the same way. I know it's you. Anyway, they said, imagine thinking that console RTS selling 400k day one is only. Raiden Shogun. Well, to be fair, Pikmin wasn't very popular. Even Miyamoto commented on how surprised that many people didn't play Pikmin because they found it too hard. Now let's move down a bit. Algami says, seeing how utterly horrible the sales legs have been for Final Fantasy 16, not just in Japan either, it's completely unlikely that it's going to sell multiple millions over the years. I think it will probably sell a couple more million, but I think that's probably, yeah, the legs probably aren't great. I think it'll sell at least a couple more million though. Celine says, majority of JP AAA games have declined in Japan, but still celebrate records due to Western sales. Street Fighter 6 and Resident Evil 4 Remake did bad in Japan. Street Fighter 6 did bad, Resident Evil 4 Remake did okay. Like, we just talked about that, right? I would say it was okay, but anyway, this person says bad. Overall, did amazing overall due to the West. Same for Yakuza series, Sonic, even Persona 5 Royals Western sales accounted for 75% of overall sales according to Sega. And then, oh my god, this goes on. Okay, so because since there's so many of these comments, I can't read everything, but we're gonna. I was talking about 1 week sales, bruh. Yes, this Junsui no Hoseki person is Aruna Riva. I know it's them. They can try and tell me this isn't them. I know this is them. They talk exactly the same way. It's them. I know it is. Anyway, yeah, they're talking about what Christopher Dring said about Final Fantasy 16 selling most physically. Yeah, so then they're starting to look. Why though? We're literally talking about current Final Fantasy 16 sales trajectory where the legacy is way weak. I'm already talking about first week sales. Why not make digital physical any better? No. Or will not make digital or physical any better? No. This Uchenna Obi person says, I don't care if the game bombs, bro. If you look back, I was just talking about UK sales is all. Square Enix is not paying me for the games does bad or not. All I said, you can't compare 1-on-1. Obviously, Final Fantasy 15 did better. Oh my god, this is all the same thread, this bit here. Oh my god. Okay. Next bit, Freud. I mean, Pikmin is a lot more niche than gigantic Final Fantasy. And this is Aruna Riva, right? I know it's them. RTS General, which is dying versus action RPG. The level of niche comparison is very far. S-Mania 99, great week for Pikmin obviously, and the game is great, but I don't know how that it makes sense to say bigger than franchise in Final Fantasy. 30 million Switches versus 4 million PS5s decide that. If 30 million had a machine on which they could play Final Fantasy 16 this month, do you think Pikmin would outsell it? Right? But the thing is there is not 30 million PS5s in Japan. And why is there not 35? Why is there not 30 million? Or to put it more realistically, you know, why isn't there more within a reasonable time frame? Why isn't there more software? Or what I should say, why isn't there more software sales? Why is that? If there's 4 million PS5s, scalping notwithstanding, why are the software sales so low? Anyway, this Gulab Jamun says, I guess part of the argument would be, does the system come first for people or the games? It used to be the philosophy that the system was worthless no matter how well made it was until it had killer apps. If a new exclusive mainline Final Fantasy isn't the epitome of a killer app for a Sony console, as it was for previous PlayStations, then I don't know what is. Or is it the belief that Final Fantasy 16 sales will eventually be much higher once people can obtain more PS5s? Now, I will add to that you can buy the PS5 in Japan, like completely freely. It's not supply constrained anymore. Then again, back in the 80s and 90s, there were consoles with amazing games that didn't sell well, pretty much because the console cost too much, i.e. Neo Geo. I mean, you know, that cost a lot. You know, there wasn't people that could afford, not many people that could afford that. Seek Hard says, I think a lot of people would have bought a PS5 for Final Fantasy 16 if it was a game they really wanted. I know I would have. And don't forget, Final Fantasy 16 was also bundled at launch, so don't forget that. I think you can still get the bundle. S-Mania 999 says, who buys a $500 $100 console for one game. You hang out with millionaires or something? I bought a PS5 because I was excited for Final Fantasy 16 and for 20 other games also available, and now it's coming to PlayStation 5. Been having a blast with it. Even playing PlayStation 5 more than Switch this past year or so. And there are more great games on the way, of course, though first party PlayStation is looking pretty weak. And then Aaron Ariva, yes, I know it's you, says Japan audience put $350 for free for Splatoon 1 there. One game to sell consoles is literally called a system seller. Animal Crossing New Horizons, Zelda Breath of the Wild. Remember how the game sold more than Switch console. People been buying platform for. Oh my god. People have been buying platform for just one game since the beginning of console gaming there. Oh my god, this is so Aaron Ariva, man. They talk exactly like that. Get this off the screen. Toba says, very true. Since the N64, I only bought the newest Nintendo console the moment a new Zelda arrived, hence skipped the Wii U. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Let's go on a bit here. Let me see, actually, is there any comments here? Yes, it's Irina Beaver. It's definitely them. You've pinged them now. They're going to bloody see this. Let me make sure I'm not missing the comments. J2 says, Final Fantasy music is great, but I feel like Zelda music feels more impactful to me. Yeah, I understand it. I mean, I guess it's like a personal taste, or, you know, which music you prefer. But in terms of the lo-fi mixes, you know, the Final Fantasy 7 lo-fi mix is good. That's all I'm saying. I don't know why people are hating on it. Why? It's good. Let's see. Let's load some more comments. Oh, this is all the same chain, by the way. Oh my gosh. Let's look at another thread. Wildcard says PS4 had the same amount of console units sold in Japan in the same time frame when Final Fantasy 15 was released. Actually, it was slightly less. And retail PS4 games overall still sold by a much larger margin. And that's taken into account the PS4 had a slow start in the Japanese market, because if you remember, it released in Japan after the West. It was like a 2014, I think, like February 2014, I think. PC gaming has much more tremendous success than PlayStation 5 in Japan during those past 3 years. So PC gaming has increased quite a lot in Japan. S-Mania999 says, yes, I agree with both of your statements. Times are changing in Japan, and I've been saying a lot of similar things in these weekly comments. However, Pikmin is not a bigger franchise than Final Fantasy when all variables are equal. I agree, it is not. It shouldn't be, a Pikmin game should not be selling more than Final Fantasy. What? Hang on, what did you say, Mousy? Mousy said, sure, it's so good, so chow mein, but you don't want to eat that every day. So it's chow mein, but you don't want to eat that every day. Are we still talking about this goddamn Final Fantasy 7 lo-fi? Oh my god. Listen, Mousy, we are literally playing the music that you wanted right now, and you are still complaining. We are playing, it's on! What's the music's on! And you're making me hungry. I want chow mein. I want chow mein! I'm hungry. All I had was muesli for breakfast, but I haven't had anything else. It's like 7 o'clock now. Redhead says it's funny that Pikmin can beat a well-known franchise. That's what I'm saying. That's why this situation is interesting. Anyway, they continue. However, Pikmin is not a bigger franchise than Final Fantasy when all variables are equal. Among other things, Japanese players of Final Fantasy XIV still account for a huge percentage of worldwide FF14 players, something like 15 to 20%. Since Japan is only around 8 to 9% of the worldwide video game market, that FF bump is significant. Hundreds of thousands of Japanese players of FF14 daily. Yes, you have to remember the game what is on PC and what was on the PlayStation 3. I don't think you can play it there anymore. But a lot of them are on PS4s playing this game. Don't forget, because it's on there. And then Aruna Riva, I know it's you. Don't try and cap and say it's not you. I know it is you. Is talking back and forth with this person a lot. So oh my god, it goes on forever. Look how long these comments are. Look. Aruna Riva is going into one talking about arms. Why are we talking about arms? Anyway, another thread. So, oh my god, I'm saying Zexin. I'll just call him Zex. Zexin says, this is like saying that Call of Duty and NAC were bigger franchises than Kirby and Pikmin in Japan 7 years ago when the PS4 was outselling Wii U 3-1 and store-based matters. S-Maya999 says, Call of Duty was pretty big in Japan for many years, but your point is still a good one. Nothing like its mega appeal in the West though. So for a few years it did sell a lot on the PlayStation 4. Not anymore. Aruna Riva, I know it's you, says Kirby still has 3DS delivering big sales number in Japan though. So Kirby being bigger than those two is not surprising. But Pikmin indeed is far smaller versus COD during PS4 area. COD is one of the most consistent medium to big performer during PS4 generation in Japan, but Pikmin is struggling hard, that even its spin-off seen as a big failure. Yes. Hera says, it's pretty clear to Japanese consumers that Nintendo represents the past. What the hell? Yo, this, oh my god, this comment is absolutely wild. I'm actually going to read it because this is one of the most wildest I don't know what. This is just so off base. This is one of the most off base things. This is so off base. Oh my god. What the hell is this comment? I have to read this because this is absolutely wild. It's pretty clear to Japanese consumers that Nintendo represents the past glory of the Imperial Japanese era, which is why their franchises are culturally successful in their home country. Sony, on the other hand, represents modern era Japan, which is nothing but a vassal state of Western powers, since both figuratively / literally represent the decline of Japanese hard power and industry / technology, so the Japanese public understandably lambasts them for it. Japanese people seem to have a fetish in placing pride in their own local industry, while corporations like Sony are caught in a weird love/hate relationship between Japan and the West. Maybe the Japanese public would prefer if Sony helps them restore Imperial Japan and then they'll pay homage. What the F indeed? What is this comment? I'm trying not to swear on this show. What the hell is this comment? This is absolutely what I do not agree with anything in this comment. Okay, I read it out because there wasn't any like crazy swears in it. It was okay for me to read. Like, what are you talking about? About imperial powers and all this Western vassal state of Western powers? What are you talking about? What is that got to Pikmin? We're talking about Pikmin. How did you get that from Pikmin and Final Fantasy? What the? This blows my mind. This comment is absolutely wild. Yeah, and kind of racist as well. Yes, needless to say, I do not agree with anything in this. Mousy doesn't. I'm sure probably none of you agree with this weirdo comment. Okay, weirdo comment. And then Aruna Riva replies, it was the only reply to this. There is no need to be that dramatic, lol. Easier explanation is that Nintendo developed games that suit Japanese taste. Sony developed games that suit Western taste. The sales simply reflect that. Yes, that is the best and simplest explanation for it. Not this imperial state. What are you talking about? What has Pikmin got to do with Imperial era Japan? Oh my god, that's... What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Oh my god. That makes no sense. Oh. Let's see what else we got here. Toba says, assuming digital is 50%, I don't think it's 50%. For Pikmin, digital's probably not that high, but anyway. Did you say you got to go? I got to, obviously I got to go. I got to get in. Like they're posting memes on the. Hang on, I'll show you the memes. Like, what is up with that comment? It's just absolutely wild. Yeah. Oh, Kike! I didn't know you was in here! Kike, I told you to DM me if you're in there. Oh my god, I didn't know you was there waiting. Why didn't you tell me? Oh, you've only been waiting for like a couple of minutes. Oh, that's why you pinged me. Oh, sorry, Kike, I didn't see. Well, I've seen now. I'm on the Discord now. I need to like I have a second screen, like an old. I do have an old monitor. I should set it up here so that I can see more stuff because it's really difficult to manage the screens. But hi, Kike, welcome.
Hello. I'm here to talk about the Pikmin lore about Imperial Japan and how.
Oh, you have an answer for that crazy comment. What the hell? Like, how are you getting that from goddamn Pikmin? Oh my god, the little flower things.
Look, I can promise you, I played all the games. Pikmin is not like that.
It's no sense. Like, how are you getting that from that? My god, it's just like it just appeals, like little cute things appeal in Japan more. That's it. That's literally it. You don't even need to go further than that. That's the answer. Not this what you're talking about. This crazy person on Komatsu. Oh my god.
Also, they're saying companies like Sony. I'm like, Square Enix made the game.
Say that again.
They mentioned Sony in the comment. I'm like, but Sony didn't make the game. I don't get it.
Oh, I think they're talking about Sony. Yeah, no, Sony didn't even make Final Fantasy. What are they talking about? No, you're right. Yeah. Why did they bring up Sony? Because Sony didn't make Final Fantasy. Yeah, it's just a good point. Why did they say that? Because if you're gonna compare them, then you need to be talking about Square Enix, which still makes pretty much Japanese games, and obviously are based in Japan. So why are they even bringing up Sony? No, you're right, Kika. I didn't even think to bring that up. Yeah, why they? I mean, you can talk about Sony, and maybe they're talking about Sony games in general, but Final Fantasy wasn't made by them, so that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Oh my
god. Maybe this is what happens if the balance of the world is out of whack because Pikmin is starting to sell well for the first time ever. So now the world is blowing up. Everybody's going crazy.
People on Komatsu are going crazy. That's who's going crazy. Yeah, this is it. I mean, it is almost like a topsy-turvy world because if you'd have said, oh, like, you know, in GameCube era or like even 10 years ago, just a few years ago, well, Pikmin's going to outsell Final Fantasy in Japan, people would say you're out of your mind. That's not even possible. But yeah, I mean, it's not a fair comparison 100% because yes, there's way more Switches in Japan than PlayStation 5s. But you need to bear in mind the last two Final Fantasy games that released in Japan sold way more than Pikmin 4. Like sold twice as much as Pikmin 4. Like they both sold 700,000 first week. So they completely they outsold Pikmin easily. But that's the issue. That Final Fantasy has dropped off 50% since Final Fantasy 15 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake, which were both released on the PlayStation 4. And they both sold around 700,000 physical first week in Japan, right? And then you have Final Fantasy 16 selling 333,000. That's half. That is half. It's slightly under half actually than previously. You know, even when you add digital, you're not going to get up to what the previous ones sold because when you add digital to those, they were up to 1 million, right? So a Time 7 remake came out, Square Enix gave press about the sales, and they told us what the Japan breakdown. They said, oh, it sold 3.5 million. In the first, was it 3 days or something? 1 million of that was in Japan. So a third of that was from Japan, right? So if a third of the sales of Final Fantasy of launch sales were from Japan, but then it's dropped off by half, the overall sales of Final Fantasy 16 are lower than it should have been. Really, it should have been higher, but Japan sales dropped off so much. That's the issue.
Yeah, we're living a crazy, crazy world. But I'm here for it. I am here for our new Pikmin overlords.
Pikmin, I knew you were going to say that. Oh my god.
Our new
our Pikmin overlords. Yeah, so this is why people are wilding. Like really wilding, like going off into like crazy, and then they start arguing about what is niche. I don't think Pikmin 4 was quite 50% digital, so I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think it was that high. The reason Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was so high was because of the vouchers. Now, I know that Pikmin is also in the voucher program, but it's a way cheaper game, so people are less incentivized to use the vouchers. Although there would be some of that's obviously increased digital. I think some people might be buying Tears of the Kingdom and then buying Pikmin as their second game with the vouchers, right? You can buy 2 games. But I don't know that digital is as high as 50% for Pikmin. To be honest.
We might have to wait. Yeah, we might have to wait until not this financial report, maybe the next one.
It'll be the next one.
Yeah, but let me see. So Pikmin 3. Yeah, because it's June, July. No, it's July, August, September. Yeah, October, November.
Yeah, so we have to wait, like, because they're not. Because Pikmin, unless something hits like a big milestone, if a game hits a big milestone, Nintendo will announce it. But obviously, Pikmin 4 isn't, anything.
Unless Miyamoto himself sends a little tweet saying, "Thank you, everybody. I'm so happy you finally made Pikmin."
Didn't he tweet out once about he used Nintendo's account to tweet? Do you remember that? What was it he tweeted? He used
the Mario movie.
Was it about the Mario movie? Do you remember when he used Nintendo's official account and it said, "Hey, Miyamoto here." Do you remember that? And he used it because he didn't have his own Twitter, so he used Nintendo's official account.
I think it was for the Mario movie because he was like, "Thank you everybody for seeing the Mario movie," and everyone's like, "Are you gonna announce something?"
Was it
no,
that?
Thank you everybody. I think it was the Mario movie because he's like, "Thank you everybody."
Yeah, if anyone has a link to that tweet that was under like Nintendo's Japanese Twitter account, right? If anyone has a link to that, and he tweeted out using that account, and it was wild. It was like, what? Yeah, because he's not on Twitter. If anyone knows what tweet I'm talking about, it was so long ago. I wouldn't even know how to find that. But yeah, he did do that. Oh yeah, now people are saying, oh, it didn't. Some people said it didn't have. Oh, I saw someone in this comment say, oh, Pikmin 4 didn't have a big marketing campaign. I would argue that it did have a big marketing campaign, especially in Japan. Did you see all the stuff they did over there with putting stuff in the konbinis and all stuff like that? They did.
No, they didn't do the spoon set like they did with Zelda though.
No, that spoon set wasn't Nintendo that did that. That was Amazon. Amazon did that. I don't know why Amazon decided that they was gonna have a spoon, like as a. It wasn't even a bonus. Cause it wasn't a free bonus. You had to pay for it. It was like a bundle, and the spoon had just. I guess it had Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom like embossed on it. But it's like, why? Why a spoon? I did not understand that bonus at all. And then there was one that you could get a spoon and a fork. I saw that on Amazon Japan. But in the States, there was some shop that was having like a piece of wood. It was like a
GameStop.
Was it GameStop?
Yes, it was GameStop.
Yeah, I mean it had a design from the game on it, right? But it was a piece of wood. So I don't know, man. Like, the pre-order bonus, I got from Nintendo Store, and when they give it, it is free. It was like a coin or something like that. I think it was like a special coin or something.
Yeah, over here we got like a keychain or a bag or
something like that. Something that's kind of collectible, right? Like a keychain or something like that. But yeah, that I don't know what that spoon was all about. I don't think I've never seen any thing that. But yeah, it was that wasn't Nintendo who did that. To be fair, that was Amazon. Who did that?
But yeah, I saw a lot of ads, and at least from what I saw on Twitter, like there were store signs that had all the Pikmin, like, and they were constantly putting ads on the TV. So Nintendo really
Sorry, say that again?
No, Nintendo really wanted this game to sell.
Oh, they did. They did. There was a lot of promotion for it. I saw a lot, and I think they did especially for this IP, which hasn't sold a lot in the past. They definitely wanted to give it a chance, basically. What is this playing right now? Oh no, it's the same. I thought this was a different. Makes the same thing. Yeah. So I'll look up a few more of these Gamatsu comments. This is what. If you have a minute, Kika. Aviva, I know it's you, says, I don't think it's going to get to 50% digital even with voucher boost. Maybe 30-35%, but overall this one is guaranteed 1 to 1.5 million sold in Japan alone. I guess they mean obviously lifetime. It's president. My assumption was based on the Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, I don't know. And then Ari and Aviva, please explain this comment you have here. Pikmin is a more female orientated IP, and those audience usually buy more versed into buying physical, so their vouchers I feel will be lower over more hardcore release like Tears of the Kingdom. What? Yeah, and the person underneath says, is there what's the proof that women buy more or less physical? So I would like to know what that proof is, Ari and Aviva.
That's a market study right there.
Women in Japan is more casual audience. Proof, Irina Riva. Want proof of that? And more casual audience is prone to buy physical because somehow digital is seen as something complicated overall. What? Irina Riva, you need to explain yourself with this comment. You're saying physical is too complicated for women to buy. Digital's too complicated for women to buy, and that's why they buy physical. Explain how it's complicated to buy digital. So that's one of the reasons why digital split may be like Arena Riva. That sounds like you're talking out of your ass. I need evidence of this. Alright. Yes, there's from Nintendo we've had like, oh yeah, the female audience has grown a lot. But this thing about that they're casual and they're buying physical because digital's too complicated. Where's that coming from? Please, Irina Riva, explain yourself. I know it's you, by the way. Don't try and say it's not you. Explain yourself on our server. Come and explain this when you listen to this back. Jose Angel says, well, look at those Pikmins. The best launch of a Nintendo game this year, just below Tears of the Kingdoms. We might before the first Pikmin game that will break through the 3 million barrier. I thought Pikmin could have a launch similar or slightly above Final Fantasy's, but I wasn't expecting it to overcome Final Fantasy's first month, which is its first weekend on sale. Ochin? Get. Look at this person, right? Ochin's the dog, right? What's it called? Ochin? The dog? Oti. Oh, they've written
Yeah,
Ochin
Ochi.
here. Maybe that's a Japanese name, I don't know. But yeah, it says Ochin or Oti gave a good beating to Torgal in this dogfight. Torgal's the dog from Final Fantasy. That's funny. Can you imagine those two fighting? But Torgal would win. Like, also, like Torgal's like an actual fighting dog. Ochi,
Some of the upgrades Ochi gets against it.
Ochi fights as well. I don't know, man. Like, Ochi's tiny.
Yeah, but Ochi can be upgraded, man. Ochi
Can be upgraded. Oh, okay. I don't know. I somehow think Torgal it's just a funny mental image that they made from thinking about the two fight, because Torgal's enormous, right? Is absolutely enormous, and Ochi is tiny. So yeah, it's funny. I saw you can get, because obviously you can get plushies of Torgal. I saw that you can get plushies of Ochi as well. I saw one.
Yeah, all those Pikmin plushies and Ochi are very popular. very.
Yeah. I don't know where you can get it, but I don't know where I would get it. I'd say maybe I haven't seen it on sale in the UK, but I think they have it on sale in Japan. Let's see this one. Gulab Jamin. I'm glad Nintendo stuck with Pikmin and kept putting out new titles to see it get its level of success. Now imagine they did that with F-Zero. I don't know about all that. F-Zero needs an advocate within the company willing to push it. Pikmin was Miyamoto's baby, for example, or a competent third-party developer that doesn't mind Nintendo looking tightly over their shoulder. I don't know if anyone in Nintendo is rooting for F-Zero, because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, but it's a racing game, right? It's a racing game.
Yeah.
Where it's like extremely fast, like almost futuristic kind of racing cars, right? Or they're not even cars; they're like vehicles that kind of hover.
No, like future cars.
Future cars, but they kind of hover. They don't have wheels, right?
Yeah, go to light speed or something like that.
I don't know if light speed, that'd be a bit fast. Vinnie Mac says no one is looking for a next gen F-Zero game. It's too arcadey for this generation of gaming.
Yeah. Let's give F-Zero our shot. Let's give F-Zero. The Switch can save anything. The Switch can save anything.
I'm talking about those comments and I forgot I left the thing on the screen. Which one do you want to see? The comments I'm looking at or the Discord? Everybody, what would you like to see? I forgot. I got more YouTube comments. J2 Blue says Jodie's angry nerd voice is the best. They are angry nerds. That's what they are. They're angry nerds. Roche, welcome, Roche. Roche says we all know the best experience of Pikmin is the Saving Private Ryan opening. Well, I haven't seen that, Roche, so I'm not really sure what you're referring to. Mario DK says, for Pikmin 4's price bracket, it is about 30% digital. Probably, yeah. I think 50% is a bit high. That happens when the games are expensive and the people want to use the vouchers to save money. J. Arthur says the Miyamoto tweet was for the delay. Oh, it was for the delay of the Mario movie. Thank you, J. Arthur. Okay, I remember now. Yes, it got delayed. I completely forgot it. Yeah, it got delayed. And he tweeted directly from the Nintendo account. That was wild. I don't think he's ever done that before or since. Because he does not have Twitter. Or, well, now he's not going to have Twitter. I don't know what's going to happen now. The way Twitter's kind of imploding. But yeah, there'll be some other social media that will kind of take its place. Yeah, what does everyone want to look at? The Discord or what I'm looking at? So I'm just reading the Gamatsu comments. Let me know.
I want Gamatsu.
Okay, you want Gamatsu? Okay, I'll show Gamatsu on the screen. Okay, I'll show Gamatsu.
I want Gamatsu there.
Yeah, maybe that's
like
better.
A whole movie right there.
So you can see it. Okay. Yeah, talk about Miyamoto, baby. I kneel to the Pikmin bros. Man, Pikmin. This is Olimac for the win. I mean, come on with the name. Man, Pikmin 4 sold more than in its first week than the total Final Fantasy 16 sales until now. Wow, holy S, those are absurd sales for Pikmin 4. Nintendo broke out the bank with the marketing on this one, but I didn't guess it would pay off in this manner. Sedgeman22, when Pikmin sells more than Final Fantasy in Japan. Bunzi, Final Fantasy as a franchise just isn't relevant anymore, it would seem, and its trend chasing clearly didn't work. Word of mouth and general reception has been mixed, and I don't think people are in that big of a rush to buy it. Aside from the generic "it's selling well" statement from Square Enix, we haven't had it on an update on its sales past the initial 3 million. Well, what I would add, because I don't think they would normally give an update after a month, but what I would say is more telling is the fact that they did not give a breakdown of Japan sales like they did with past Final Fantasy games. We have no breakdown.
So what? It was last week when they responded to IGN, right?
Yeah, and that's the other thing. They responded to IGN, like indirectly responding to a Bloomberg article by what's his name, Mochizuki. Yeah, so that article, which was specifically talking about Japan, it wasn't talking about worldwide sales of Final Fantasy 16. It was only talking about Japan. So they responded to IGN, like Western IGN, not IGN Japan, Western IGN. They responded to that saying, we are pleased with the worldwide, or they didn't, not how they said it. I can't remember how they.
They used the worldwide numbers.
They used the worldwide numbers. To respond to Japanese sales. That makes no sense.
Yeah, they could have also like.
Why didn't they respond to Mochizuki? I didn't they respond to Mochizuki? Why didn't they respond to Bloomberg? Bloomberg made the article, not IGN.
I think everybody there's a campaign to talk on Mochizuki. I don't know. Why does everybody have
people that want to talk to Mochizuki, did you say?
Yeah, because I just keep remembering he's the same one who did the article for the Switch Pro or whatever the next Switch was gonna be, and then Nintendo was like, no, we do not. This is not true.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. He might be like blacklisted or whatever.
Do not believe certain articles, and it was like, I wonder which one they're talking.
Yeah, they said like they said, they didn't say directly Bloomberg, but I mean, obviously they was talking about that. But it happened twice actually. 2 times Mochizuki made an article about like a Switch Pro or a 4K Switch or something like that, and 2 times the Nintendo investors Twitter account responded to it. Mm-hmm. Or indirectly, they didn't reference it directly. They just said there have been articles about blah 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 blah, but they were talking about that. So, yeah. And this person, Margie, responded saying, Sony isn't relevant in Japan, is relevant anymore in Japan. They moved their headquarters to California and shut down Japan's studio. Final Fantasy 16 is a 6-month timed exclusive. If you already waited 2 years for PlayStation 5, you can wait 6 more months. Well, I guess they're talking about the PC version, but that's not going to be out in 6 months anyway. It's probably going to be like a year or something. And then Madside responds, why do people always think Sony shutting down Japan Studio is the reason why PlayStation isn't relevant in Japan anymore? Most of their games were commercial flops. You can't run a company like this. I wish Gravity Rush would sell as many copies as FIFA, but that is impossible. It wasn't just them shutting down Japan Studio was kind of like the culmination of all the stuff they've done to moving away from the Japanese market. That's what it was. And why were those games flopping? Honestly, why were those games commercial flops? Some of those games should have done well. And we're going to go and talk about some of the people that worked at Japan Studios and the franchises they were making there. They've gone on to like go to other studios or form their own studios and stuff, and basically they're trying to make those same games, but they can't use their IP, right? So they're making very, 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 very similar games. Like,
I mean, you probably have it on your topics, but
I have it for my topics. Yeah, I did because you gave me, or someone gave me. Was it you that gave me the link for the?
No, for the Patapon one.
for the it's not called Patapon, it's called Tatatan. Remember, it's not Patapon, it's Tatatan. Let's watch it now. Let's since you're here, let's watch it now. So not that one. So where's this one? So this is a spiritual successor to Patapon, which was a PSP Vita game, I want to say, or was it just Vita? I can't remember.
What? PSP.
It's on PSP as well. And this was made by Japanese studio. Now, the creator of that game, somebody please tell me what their name is or give me a link to the information about this. Cause all I have, or Kike or whoever gave me, it was you that gave me this link. I only have a link to the video. I don't have a link to an article talking about it. So if somebody has that, please link me now. And I can talk about it and say the creator's name. Because I'm sure, because I can't even read this text here. Let's, where's the goddamn translate? This doesn't say anything about it, does it? No, it doesn't. So I don't. Why did they didn't even put? They put this here, but there's no link to the Kickstarter in this video, in this thing at all. There's no link to the Kickstarter. Like what? Why did you not put it in the description of the video? That makes no sense. Anyway, this is a spiritual successor to Patapon. It's called no, not Tatatan. Is it Ratatan? Ratatan. Sorry, not. It's called Ratatan. And looks, which is a very similar name anyway, right off the bat, and looks very similar. Or it's a similar sort of concept. It's like a rhythm type game, right? So let's take a quick look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Put the volume up. Can you hear this? Maybe this volume's a bit low.
I can hear it.
Oh, thank you, J2. Is that an article? Thanks, I'll look at that in a sec. So, yeah, it's just like a battling type of rhythm game, it looks like. Very cute. We have a load of kids doing the music or whatever, the vocals. And this is a Kickstarter, so this game is not made it, or it's not funded yet, I should say. So they're hoping to get funding by Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
So very cute game, and it's very reminiscent of what you saw coming from Japan Studio, because it's literally
breaking news.
The same person.
Let me.
What's that? What's the breaking news?
For my brother who is in Las Vegas for the Final Fantasy 14 event, FF14 is coming to Xbox.
Oh, is it?
Yes, straight from my brother, and now it's on Twitter. But yes, straight from my brother.
Probably an announcement for Xbox. Oh, is it? Okay, well, that took them long enough. Good lord, that took them years and years and years and years. So they said that years ago.
Phil Spencer has finally got it.
Yeah,
Spencer.
Kike, but you know he said that for multiple, like years ago, like a long time, like a long time ago that he said it's coming to Xbox, but it was years ago. Like he said, in fact, more than once. It was multiple times. That's why I'm sitting here not surprised, because okay, yeah, they said that years ago.
But he finally did it. He finally got it.
It's about time.
Finally broke Square Enix. Yeah. Thank you to my brother who broke it to me before anybody else.
Well, I can see it here at the same time. Now, here's the question. What is the... Because this is a subscription game. It's not free to play.
No, yeah, it's
so they're not saying, oh, it's going to be in the Game Pass. It wouldn't be in Game Pass because, like, it's literally a subscription game, so you'd be getting the game for completely free, like indefinitely.
No, yeah, that'll be.
So
they can do bonus, but yeah, not like those.
I mean, I'm looking at this image. There's no Game Pass logo on there.
No,
it's going to be on Xbox, but you need to pay. The other thing is that because it's an online game, are they going to roll that into like when you get Xbox Live or whatever you pay for that? Because if you play this on PlayStation, you don't need to get an additional PS Plus subscription to play it online. You can just pay the subscription and then play it online.
I think
Breaking news on Jodie's show. Final Fantasy 14 is a really good game, so this is great news because it's it's an MMO, so you can get even more. Obviously, you want even more play. Now, the interesting thing is like they probably had to set up completely separate servers or new servers for this because the original server, because you remember they was having issues with the servers before. So the original servers, the servers they had before, probably wouldn't be able to support the additional player base. So they must have set up new. So somebody tell me what they're actually saying on there. I imagine that they set up new servers because the ones they had they were having issues as it was. So it can't be like, oh, we're putting them on the same servers. They must have set something else up. So somebody let me know. So yeah, this is good news. It means more people can play. Problem is I could easily get bored of MMOs.
I'm assuming it's crossplay. It has to be
it would have to
right?
be crossplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I say separate servers, I don't mean not crossplay. I just mean they had to make completely new, because this doesn't run off of it's not Amazon Web Servers or something. They literally have their own servers that they had to make for it. It's not Amazon Web Servers or anything like that. They have servers for it. So in order to do this, they must have had to make new servers. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It depends.
Well, maybe. I'm sure somebody will start putting the details out about how the Xbox version will be, either Phoenix or Phil, because I'm sure Phil Spencer's celebrating right now.
Yeah, but I think it's good. But I'm just like, the reason I'm not surprised is because he literally said years ago. Go back and look at those interviews and quotes and things. There's quotes and interviews and video of him saying, "Yeah, we're getting Final Fantasy 14." But it's like, okay, and people are like, "Okay, well, where is it?" And it took years. So I'm glad they have it, but I'm not like surprised because they already said years ago that they were doing it. So that's why I don't sound surprised.
Now they need to get Final Fantasy 7 now.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's a good thing you raised, because they got with Square Enix, worked with Square Enix, and managed to get it on Final Fantasy 14. But Final Fantasy 7 I guess you mean remake. Final Fantasy 7 remake is not.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if it's running on Azure, Mousy. That's what I'm saying. It has to be on like their own. Or somebody tell me. If it's running on Azure, then it probably isn't cross-play and stuff. Because they literally have their own special servers that they made for it. They had to like build these servers for Final Fantasy 14. So, if it's on Azure, that's like then it's separate. I mean, I don't, then again, I don't know the technical stuff, so I might be wrong. But I'm thinking that it's going to be Final Fantasy 14 servers, not Azure servers.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, that was the news. So, great news. Go and play Final Fantasy 14. I had to drop off because that game takes over your life. And I was playing that and not doing anything else. So I had to stop. I will go back and play it and work my way through the expansions. But it's not something I'm going to do right now because like once you... It's like what do you call it? Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop. That game is so addictive. There's so much stuff to do. There's literally so much content in that game. It's like it's almost overwhelming. There's the amount of things you can do. But I really like it because once you have the subscription, you can do everything in the game. Obviously, the expansions you have to pay for the expansions separately. But you can do everything in like nothing's gated off. The only thing is they have a cash shop where you can get some like costumes and mounts and some different mounts and minions and things like that. And yes, you can fall to that. Okay, yeah, What's it called? Phantasy Star Online. They had to put it on Azure. Oh wait, it's on Azure and it has cosplay. So maybe it is, but I'm guessing that you know.
Well,
yeah, but crossplay with
big...
crossplay with what, Mousy? Is it crossplay with the Japanese servers or just crossplay with PC? What do you mean crossplay? Or crossplay with That's what I'm talking about. I don't mean crossplay between. When I say crossplay, I'm not talking about crossplay between consoles or PC or whatever. I'm talking about crossplay with servers, because with the way Final Fantasy 14 is, because it has its own separate servers set up, it means that a regional server can't play with another regional server. So so I was on the American regional server. If you were on that server, and they've got different names, right? So I think I used to be on Crystal, and then I moved to I can't remember what it was called now. They had different. That's what I mean about these servers. They cross-play between platforms. Yes, you can play between PC and you can play between PC and PlayStation, but it wasn't cross-play between regions. That's what I'm talking about. Actually, I should have been more clear about that. So each region was separate. So you had the North American one, you had the European one, you had the Japanese one, and they added in an Australasian one. So Australia one. So I moved to the Australia server because my friends that I were playing with, they were in Australia and Japan, right? And then my American friends that live in Japan, they're not on the Japanese server because they can't speak Japanese, right? So we was all in Australia. We all moved to the Australian server, and we had to. Once you migrate from that server, you can't then play. You can't cross play between the servers. Basically, there's a way you can kind of meet up with them in like some certain area. I forgot how you do it now, but you can't like go on raids and stuff with each other. That's what I meant by it being separate. So if there's like servers that they made for Xbox, those servers will be able to play with if they've added it. So they would have had to add additional servers in each region to support the additional players on Xbox, right? But then those no, Japan, no, yeah. You mean the entire country of Japan has no Azure at all? Is that what you mean? But I'm talking about these Final Fantasy 14 servers. They are like, yeah, if you're on the Australia server, you can't play with anyone in North America or Europe or Japan or whatever because they're separate. So yeah, that's why I need to know that this details. This just tells you about the loading and everything. Yeah. I'm not talking about details about the servers, because there's no way that they've added in Xbox servers and you'll be able to play with everyone across the world, because you can't do that currently with Final Fantasy 14. That's what I'm talking about. It's like separated by region, so you can't do that now. There is no crossplay. You can't go and play with people. If I was on the European server, I wouldn't be able to play with people on the American servers. That's the way it works. That's why I had to move servers. So
I know for Phantasy Star Online 2, Microsoft was the one that...
Breaking news! Airbus Kiryu-san's there! No! Is he really there?
I mean, yeah.
Show me!
I mean
is Airbus Kiryu-san there? Show me pictures! I want to see! Is he really there? Johannes said he's there, and Johannes is laughing. Hang on. Is he there? With Phil and Yoshi P, I need photographic evidence. I need to see this. Airbus Kiryu-san, very people don't know, Airbus Kiryu-san is the now president of Square Enix. And the reason he's called Airbus Kiryu-san is because when they first said this guy was going to be, and he's a crypto bro, by the way. He's a goddamn crypto bro, before we get anything. He seems very sweet and very nice, but he's a crypto bro, so don't forget that. He's trying to do this NFT nonsense with Square Enix, right? When they first announced it, I looked him up on LinkedIn, and there's his profile and a picture. I was like, that can't be the same guy. Like his picture looks airbrushed within an inch of his life. Like he looks so young. So you look at his age, and it's just like he's 50, and this guy looks like maybe late 30s or something, right? But no, that's him. That's him. Hang on. I have a picture. Where is it? Hang on. Here we go. Can you see this on the screen? This is him. This is Airbus Kiryu-san. This is what I'm calling him. His picture's been airbrushed. And then, he is there! He's there!
Yeah. Dale Spencer.
Show me, where's the link to this fan? Show me a link to this fan fest. Show me a link to it. Give me a link to it, please. I'll play it on the show.
Phil Spencer.
He's doing Phil Spencer.
Is that what the
And
CEO?
Yoshi P. Hang on, look, here's the picture. Show me a link to that. Oh, here we go. A link. Thank you, Johannes. Johannes coming in clutch.
And one more thing, as CEO of Square Enix,
I'm going to introduce NFTs to Final Fantasy 14. That's what he's saying.
With the power of Xbox.
The power of Xbox, we're bringing NFTs to Final Fantasy 14.
we want to continue to deliver fabulous.
And I want to say this,
to the
right?
world.
Airbrush Kiryu-san and Yoshi P are the same age. Alright? They are the same age. There's like 2 years between them. Hang on, I'll make this bigger so you can see it.
And of course, we want to welcome the Xbox community as well.
本日ですね、発表させていただいた、ファイナルファンタジー14の Xbox バージョン版、Xbox 版はですね、2024
Are they putting on the Xbox One as
に
well?
は皆さんにお届けしたいと。
I mean, it's an Xbox consoles, not the Xbox Series, so
Yeah.
I think it's the one too. I mean, they're supporting the PS4 version still, right? So
Yeah.
maybe they're like, yeah, why not?
So we're giving you Final Fantasy 14, but you can't have Final Fantasy 7. Ha 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 ha
Announcement
ha
of Final
ha.
Fantasy 14 coming in spring 2024.
Hey, Phil Spencer is there with Kiryu, so he's gonna have like a
Airbrush
dinner or
Kiryu-san
something.
and Yoshi P are the same age. They are the same age. Bear that in mind. They are the same. I don't know how old is Phil Spencer. Does anyone know, by the way? But those two are the same age, man. Airbrush Kiryu-san is not like in his 40s. Or he's not 30 or 40. He's in his 40s. He's not 30. He's like 48.
With Phil and the Xbox team to make this possible.
I haven't heard them say anything about Azure. There's no way this is on Azure. It's got to be on Final Fantasy 14 servers.
We've established in bringing Final Fantasy 14 to Xbox.
Yeah, because I'm guessing because for Fantasy Star Online 2, Microsoft actually paid for the localization or bringing it over.
Yeah, but this game's already localized. Don't forget.
Yeah, so that's why I don't think it should.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
I don't think it's
No,
like
this is
Fantasy
gonna be because of the weird way Final Fantasy. The way it's set up with the servers being all like regional. It's not. There's no global servers. You can't play globally on that game. Is what I'm saying. Do you remember that article a few months ago by Just Called saying, "Oh, there's the relationship between Xbox and Microsoft and look at this, they're all shaking hands. Oh yeah, the relationship between Microsoft and Square Enix is fundamentally broken, according to Jez Corden from Windows Central. Do you remember that nonsense? No, and at the time I said no. That's just they're not putting goddamn Legend of Mana or what was it called on goddamn Xbox because no one's gonna buy it. Everyone out here, go and get the subscription. They've said this isn't going on Game Pass because they would have said, all right, you have to pay subscription. Go and pay. There's a free trial, in fact. Do the free trial and play Final Fantasy 14 on Xbox. If you have an Xbox and you hadn't been able to play it otherwise, because it's a really good game. But yeah, clearly this is you got to pay subscription for this.
What they might do, I don't know if this is possible. I don't know. They might offer the expansions for Game Pass, but you still have to pay to play it.
If that was happening, they would have said it when Phil Spencer was still there.
So President Q,
Yeah.
this is your first
Yeah.
time
Hang on, shush. It was Kiryu-san's gonna speak. What's he saying?
For the lack of a better word, this is the best experience ever.
Oh, they announced a new expansion? Dawn Trial?
Oh yeah, that was at the beginning. That was like at the beginning.
Oh, I
of the
didn't even
show.
see it. Okay.
Because I have
Well, that's
chosen
quite big news as
everything I
well.
possibly can today.
7.0 そしてさらなる大きなお知
Yoshi
らせ
P
は
and
As
Airbrush
for
Kiryu-san
further
are the same
announcements on
age.
big upcoming stuff, including
Right.
7.0.
Ooh. Oh my god, this is making me want to go back and play it now.
させていただこうと思います。
Please
Live from
tune
London.
into
That's where I
FanFest
live.
in London.
That's a day after my birthday. My birthday's on October 20th. Oh my god. Maybe I should go. It's the day after my birthday.
改めて桐生さんこうファンフェス間もなくこのままスタートしていこうと思いますが、皆さんに一言ありますか？
Well, we're getting ready to kick off FanFest then. So, President Kiryu, any final thoughts?
I'm bringing
Thank you very
NFTs
much
to...
for having a time today. And
Oh yeah, I forgot you can speak English.
so exciting, and I got lots of
Oh.
energy from here. All of warriors of light. Thank you very much.
Aw, he's so cute. He's so cute, Ethan. He's so cute.
さあではこのままオープニングに移りたいと思いますので、
All
ラ
right.
スベガスに来ている開発運営チームの皆さん、ステージへお願いします。
So let's move on to the opening ceremony, which means we need the development team.
He's
at
got a
the
Team
stage.
NT t-shirt on, by the way. Yoshi P has a Team NT t-shirt on. He must be
Yeah,
a
everybody
fan.
was like, "Is there gonna be a collab?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just think he like, I just think he
I mean,
likes
it's
it."
not that unprecedented because, like, there's been some weirdo collabs with Final Fantasy 14. So they had
You like
Yokai
Yokai
Watch, Yokai Watch, and goddamn Final Fantasy 14. You can't even get those. I'm so mad because I played the game and people are going around with a goddamn Jabanian minion. And I'm like, what the hell? How did they get Jabanian minions? But you can't get them anymore. I was so jealous.
Thank you all for being here. It's
Hey.
super exciting to have you all back. In
Wonder what
London
happened to
in our
Joy-Kai
first fan
Watch.
festival in many
Well, we
years.
know what happened to we know what happened to
Super excited.
Yokai
I'm
Watch.
extremely nervous.
But maybe it'll come back. I don't know. Maybe it'll come back.
That was a super exciting keynote. Thank you, Yoshida-san.
Yoshi. He said. Do you know what he said? Yoshi P-san, which is.
Of course.
It doesn't make sense to say that because the P is like the title. It's like a little cute title that people give people sometimes. So he just said like Yoshi P, Mr. Mister or something like that. Because it's like it's just Yoshi P.
Which was just me saying things in a direction with no fans there.
Interesting.
So it's really great to have you all in
He
person.
said like Yoshi. He said like
And
Yoshi
yeah, as
Mr.
Matt said,
Mister. I
like,
should
still
say.
terrifying.
That's what he
Like, it
said.
doesn't get any less terrifying. So great.
Because I would
hope
usually
you
just
guys
say
have a fun time
Yoshida-san
this
or
weekend.
Yoshi P, if you see what I mean. But he said Yoshi P-san, which kind of doesn't make sense.
Hello, everyone. Michael Christopher Koji Fox.
Everyone loves this dude.
I guess now because she's lead, I'm localization supervisor. I also, do lyrics and, some lore book stuff and the purveyor of poor puns.
Yeah.
Every now and then. 5 years in between physical fan fest is way too long. I'm really excited.
Oh yeah, they
to be
couldn't have.
back in
Oh yeah,
Vegas
because when they had it like
to
a couple,
reconnect
was it
with
a couple of
old
years
friends
ago? I
as well
watched
as
it.
make a lot of
They
new
did this
friends,
whole
hopefully.
presentation to like an empty stage because
Yeah,
of COVID,
most of the
obviously.
heavy lifting.
Yeah.
This show is going to be done by Kate and Aimee, which I'm super grateful.
And Yoshi P always cosplays for this, like. So you see, he obviously hasn't done it yet, but he always
So if you see
cosplays.
me, grab me, say hey, balls.
Oh, you're gonna get mobbed, dude.
Don't actually grab him.
That's dangerous worse.
Politely wave at him.
Yeah, if you have any questions,
She's got,
I'm
like,
happy
pointy
to answer
ears.
them. Just one note, I will be answering no questions about teenagers, mutants, ninjas, and/or turtles. No questions. Sorry.
Alright, okay. We might as well finish watching this. Sorry, stop it. I mean, because it's not. We've got the relevant part. So, great news. Final Fantasy 14 is coming to Xbox.
I would like to thank my brother, the journalist, who sent me a picture.
Your brother's a journalist?
No, he's just at the event and sent me the picture.
Oh, awesome. Where did I say it was? Oh, it's Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's in
Okay.
Vegas.
Okay, that's really cool. But everyone's Kiryu-san. As I said, same age as Yoshi P. They are the same age, alright? So I forgot about this. This is the picture you wanted me to put. The thumbnail, the Pikmin trip. I didn't put it on because it would just be like just that picture by itself, and I need to like make proper thumbnails and stuff like that. Yes, exactly. Mousy. I said that. There was this whole thing with this so what's it called? Judge Gordon coming out with this article about Square Enix, the relationship with Square Enix and Microsoft is fundamentally broken. And at the time I said that was BS. At the time I said it's BS. Here's the announcement. Oh, it's only X and S. They're not putting it on... Okay, well maybe it's only X and S then. So here's the announcement. Yeah. So they didn't mention Azure or like what do you call it? Game Pass or anything like that. So I'm imagining they have made servers for this Final Fantasy 14 servers, not separate Azure servers. It wouldn't really make much sense. The way the game's set up in a weird way. So
yeah, the beta is next year, so we'll know more when the beta.
Yeah. There we
comes
go.
out.
So go and play it. Go and play this game. It's really good, but I warn you now, it will take over. If you haven't played this before, it will take over your life. Alright, it just will. So make sure you've got time to dedicate it there. Patrick lives there. Where? Oh, Las Vegas. Does he? He lives in Las Vegas. That's near where you live, though, isn't it? Don't you live in like the desert or something like that?
It is in Vegas. My brother went to Vegas. My brother is in Vegas as of this moment.
Oh, sorry. Was I showing the wrong screen the whole time? What was I showing on screen? I don't even bloody know. Was I showing the wrong screen during that?
Let me see.
Was I? Oh, if I was, I'm a numpty. I'm sorry. I don't even know. What was I showing on screen?
Right now I see Discord.
Oh, damn. Was I showing the wrong screen? During that thing? I wasn't showing the thing? The actual video? Nobody told me?
I have to...
What did you say? What did you say? I was talking about... Oh, my God. What did you say? Sorry. I apologise. Oh, my God. Did you not see it? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I thought I had it on screen. I was talking. I was, like, narrating over the top of it. I apologise. I apologise. Look here.
At least, I can't do that at least for next couple of days for this event for sure.
Also, my lunch is gonna be over, so I gotta get back to work.
Here it is. Sorry.
We have received requests for this from all over the world.
So I'm gonna have to drop off right now.
Okay, thanks for coming through, Kika. Thanks a lot. I thought I had this on screen. I'm really sorry. Let's get a watch when Airbus Kiryu-san's there.
I have to thank you, Phil-san.
Problem. Thank you so much.
Oh, he's so cute! I have to thank you, Phil-san. I missed this bit. What did he say? I missed for Final Fantasy 14 quality.
President Kiryu, can you share your thoughts with us about the new Xbox version?
First off, I have to thank you, Phil-san, for working with us.
Alright.
He calls me Phil-san. Okay, Kika, thanks a lot, man.
Come on,
you just said you was going like 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
See, you want to stay here once Airbus Kiryu-san.
So,
oh no, wait, he's dropped off.
I'd like everyone to once again give him the biggest round of applause.
There. I wish you all. Listen, if I mess up and you can't see stuff on screen or whatever, you have to let me know, right? Because I'm like an amateur at this streaming stuff. But there you go. There's them on screen together. So sorry I didn't show that before.
I'd like to speak Japanese
oh wait.
From here because we're speaking both with Yoshi P and Phil-san.
Oh yeah, Yoshi P doesn't know English. So. Okay, let me get to the bit where they shook hands. Hang on a sec.
改めまして、ヨシピーも私もそしておそらくここにいる多くの
See, you notice he said Yoshi P, didn't say Yoshi P Sam because that's not correct. It doesn't make, from my understanding, it doesn't make sense to say that. Wait, where's the bit where they all shook hands? Where's that bit? Oh no, I missed it. Hang on, it's right here, right? Oh, damn it. How do I do that? Wait.
Please tune in to.
Oh my god.
A better word. This is the best experience ever.
It's this bit. Now watch this bit. And bear in mind the. Oh no, I've gone past it. Hang on. Where's the bit where they shook hands?
Going forward.
じゃあせっかく来ていただいたので、ちょっと握手を3人でしてもいいですか？
Well, while we're up here, let's shake hands.
Remember, watch this and bear in mind, the relationship between Square Enix and Microsoft is fundamentally broken. According to Just Calling from Windows Central. Fundamentally broken. Here they are, shaking hands. Remember that.
はい、ありがとうございます。
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna make that into the what's it, totally broken, right, Johannes? Totally broken. Yeah, I know, he's so cute. It was Kiryu-san. I know. It's so annoying that he's a crypto bro. Why would you, it's like, oh, he's so cute and sweet, but then he's like evil. He's nervous. I know, he's nervous. Mousy, where are you typing that? You're in the wrong chat. I don't even know where you're typing that. You're not even in the right chat. Mousy, where are you typing? Oh, I'm in the wrong chat. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong bit. But I can tell he speaks English well. Yeah, he's doing his best, Mousy. Mousy, he's doing his best. He's doing his best, Mousy. I can't. It must be difficult to speak in another language like that. Honestly, it must be difficult. He's doing his best, Mousy. I'm gonna make a screenshot of that later, so I'll save that there. There we go. Great news all around. So because we had that breaking news that kind of interrupted the show, I don't even know what we were doing. What were we doing? I can't remember. What were we doing? The topics. Sorry, one sec. Oh, well, let's move on because I can't remember what we were doing. Let's move on to this. Not that one. Oh God, where is it? I hate that they've done this on Twitter. The PS5 has reached 40 million sold milestone. It was oh yeah, we was doing okay, I'll come back to that. Yeah, no. Oh, actually, that game's not called Patapon. It's called like Ratatan or something. Sorry. I'll do that game in a second. Just to mention, the PlayStation 5 has hit a milestone of 40 million sold worldwide. So that was announced by Sony yesterday or no. I was looking in the wrong live chat, Mousy. Mousy, are you on a delay or something? Because you're responding to what I said like 5 minutes ago. Yeah. So the PlayStation 5 has reached a milestone of 40 million sold. So great stuff. Just wanted to mention that. That was news that broke like a couple. Or Sony reported it a couple of days. It was yesterday or the day before. Yeah. So just sold 40 million worldwide. So next, yeah, we was talking about that Patapon, not Patapon. This game, the Ratatan. Now I have somebody put a link. You speak another language in front of hundreds of people. Oh, what? Ebos Kiryu-san? It must be difficult. I know I wouldn't be able to do it. One of you dropped a link, right, to that article. Or where did you put it? Oh my God, I need to find. Is it in live show topics? Where did somebody drop an article? But which section did they put it in? Did they put it on the notice board? Where is it? Oh my God. Where did you put it? Didn't somebody just drop a link for that? Am I going crazy that it was J2 or someone put a link for it? Did they put it in the wrong chat? Oh God, I've got to look in every chat room right now because I don't know where it is. I don't know where you put it. Okay, well maybe I'm imagining that and they didn't in fact do that. Where is it? Oh, you put it. Oh, hold up. It's in the live chat. Oh, there we go. Thank you, J2. By the way, who told me that news about? No, my Mousy. My birthday is in October 20th. My birthday. Yeah. So, key care. broke that news. So Kike, I'm going to give you a J point. How do you do it again? Just give. So J points is like our little rep point system that we have on the Discord server. So you just give them out at my discretion, basically. Mouse, you can give them out as well. Or you can give them out if you say thanks to someone in that message. It'll give them a J point. I think you should get. Why should he get 2? Why should he get 2? Why should he get 2? For what? I can't give out 2 anyway because there's a cooldown. You can only give out 1 at a time. I've set it to give out 1 at a time. That was breaking news. Yeah, he got a J point for it. You can't give out. No, I don't think you can, Mousy. Mousy, don't do that. I don't think you can anyway. For Mousy, I don't think you can. Wonder see why you should get. Why is? Please explain to me why there's a 2 point. The system is set up so you can give 1 point at a time, and there's a 20-minute cooldown. Anyway, so for this exact situations where you're saying that people need 2 J points, why is that 2? That's not. Why is that 2, Mousy? I can't be giving people 2 J points. People are going to start complaining and saying it's not fair if some people are getting 2 J points. People are going to complain, Mousy. Oh, J Money. J Money says, you never responded to my message on Discord and didn't follow me on Twitter. J Money, can you please tell me what your username on Twitter is? Because I actually don't know who you are. You didn't never respond to my message on Discord and didn't follow me on Twitter. J Money, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. So can you please tell me, and I'll have a look at your message. Please DM me. I don't know what message you're talking about, J Money. What message? I honestly don't know who you are. So please let me know. Mousy said I'll eat them. Mousy, I have no idea what you're talking about. I really don't know. Mousy's lost it. Mousy, you're skiving off work again. I know you are. Right, we're 2 hours 30 into this show. So I need to yeah, so what was I talking about again? Ratatan. What are J points for? Sorry if I explained anyway. No, yeah, that's fine, J2. If you have a look in the rules and FAQ, it's in there, but I'll briefly tell you they're rep points, reputation points. So I can use JBot to give out rep points. It's just a reward system for our server. So you can give a J points to somebody if you say thanks or some variation of thanks, thank you, or something like that in an app message to them. It will give them a J point, right? If you say thanks to someone, and likewise someone can give that to you as well. Also, Mousy and I can give out J points at our discretion. We can give out J points just if we think you're being, you know, a great person, helpful, you know, you tell a funny joke, anything like that. We can give out J points. Basically, it's just a reputation system for our server, and then there's a leaderboard of who has the most J points. So Mousy and I are trying to be generous with the J points, right, for rewarding you know, really great members of our community. That's what it is. How do I bring up the leaderboard for that again? Hang on, let me find it. I've forgotten how to do it. I can't remember what the command is. Where is it? No, not replog. Replog. Report. Rest roll. Shouldn't it just say rep leaderboard? Take rep. You can take rep away as well. We're not at that stage yet, but top rep. Oh, okay, here we go. Page. I guess you go for page 1. So there we go. Here's the leaderboard. Oh, whoa! Holy crap! Oh my god! Yeah, this is 12 J points! What the hell? Whoa! Holy crap, Johannes! Wow! That's 12 J points! Oh my god, that's amazing! I can't believe it. Wow. Yeah, let me put that on the stream. You can see here this is the leaderboard. Reputation points. Somehow Crux 26 is the Johannes. They have 12 J points. Congratulations on being an amazing member of the Jody's JP Cell chat community. Yeah, Johannes is also on the top of the leaderboard for the betting. I don't know. Well, that's another thing. I don't know how they manage that, but yes, congratulations. So Johannes is number 1. Number 2 is Mousy. Well, people are going to call conspiracy Mousy because you're number 2 and I'm number 3. People are going to say it's a conspiracy. That's why I said we need to be generous with the J points. Number 5, yeah. So Mousy has 9 at number 2. I have 8. Who's giving me J points? I don't know. I have J points. I'm number 3. Jago is number 5 Jago is number 4 with 5 J points. Number 5 is Dank Meme with 3 J points. Sam Atlas is number 2. Number 2 with 2 J points. And that's actually shared number 6. Because Gedimus 4 is also number 6 with 2 J points. And then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people have 1 J point at number 8. So that's Wolf Bunny, who's Patrick, J2 Blue, Chow Hedgehog, who is Kike, Roche, Finimac, Wolf Daddy, all have 1 J point. So, congratulations everybody for getting the J points. Can I show this thing fully? Oh, I can see the full leaderboard. Oh, here's the full leaderboard. The full leaderboard! Complete with avatars. I didn't know I could do this. The full leaderboard. So here you go. So I can see below 8, loads more entries. Is there more? Oh no, that's it. That is it. That is basically the full leaderboard. So everybody, please work hard to be a good member of the community. People will say thanks to you and can give you J points. And then you can thank other people and give them J points. And Mousy and I will also give out J points just for being an awesome member of the community. And Johannes is an awesome member of our community. He's very active and participates in a lot of things. He's a really helpful, nice person. So thank you, Johannes, for being a member of our community. So, oh no, I forgot. I'm showing the Discord thing. I always forget I'm showing the wrong thing on the thing. So sorry, here's the one that I'm looking at that I opened up. It's just the same leaderboard, but with, you can see our avatars. You're welcome. Thank you, Johannes. So here's everybody. So everybody work hard and try to beat Johannes, who's got 12 J points. I don't know how. Has 12 J points. So if you're just nice to people, people say thank you and stuff like that. So then you end up getting J points. So that's what it is basically. Other people give me points by thanking me. Well, okay, Mousy, but what I'm saying is, it's like, it's a good thing neither of us are number 1, because then people say, oh, well, you conspiracy, da, 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 da. But we are number 2 and 3. So people are giving us J points, but you know, you can give each other J points. But like I said, there is like a cooldown on, so you can't just go crazy with it. There's a cooldown of like 20 minutes, and you can only give 1 J point at a time. That applies to Mousy and I as well. Not 2 J. I know where Mousy's going with his 2 J points. I'll eat them. Mousy, what are you talking about? Eat what? Mousy, eat what? I don't know what Mousy's talking about. I'll eat them. What does that even mean? Oh my god, that. Oh my god, that. Show. I did used to see that show, and that show was like just absolutely wild. I forgot what it was called. I'll eat complainers. Who's complaining? I forgot what that show was called. It was not Tarrytown. It was like Toy Town or Lazy Town. That was it, and it was all about exercise. It was low-key. They was trying to get kids to exercise, right? It's called Lazy Town. That show. Oh man, I've got to show people what I'm looking at now. It's like changing backwards and forth between the Discord and the thing. There you go. This was Lazy Town. Do you remember that? I remember that. I was way too. By the way, when I was watching that, I was a grown-ass woman. I shouldn't have been watching it. I used to come back after college and like the kids shows were on, and I used to say, "You'll eat the complainers about your J points." Okay, Mousy. You know, I don't know who'd be giving you J points, but you know. Anyway, I hope. Who asked about it? J2 Blue. I hope that explains what J points are. They're reputation points. I've called them J points. Because I'm Jodie. The J's Jodie. J points. So, oh, my sister used to watch that show, yeah. Yeah, Lazy Town. Yeah, that show was weird. I used to watch it. I shouldn't have. I used to come home from college and it was on. So I used to end up watching it. That's back when I used to actually watch. I don't even watch TV anymore. Red Hood says, to your highness, congratulations for being #1 on the board. You know what, Red Hood, you're not on this board at all, right? Red Hood. Oh look, now you've got J point! Now you are! There you go! See, Johannes is awesome. Johannes gave you a J point. There you go, now you're on the board. There you go, Red Hood. Now you have one. I see, thanks JD, you're welcome. There you go. Now you have a J point. So, I hope that explains. It's a reputation system. As you can see, anyone can give anyone a J point by saying thank you with their name in an at message. You've got to at them. If you just say thank you, it won't do anything. You have to at somebody and it will give them a J point. But yeah, there's a cooldown as well, like I said, so you can't just go crazy and just spam it and all that. Yeah, it's a reputation system for a server. So yeah, so I think that explains it. Anyway, this bot is really like I need to like sit down and try and work out how to do a little. This is what I've got to do. It's like the next thing on like the agenda. Do you know, we're sitting here with no lo-fi. What is going on? Vinimax says, oh look, see, here we go. I told you this was gonna happen. Vinimax says, how convenient that the number one leader and the number one right hand person are number two right hand person are in the lead. I told you, Mousy. Vinimax is crying conspiracy. Mousy, I told you. Yeah, but we're not number one. Vinimac, what? Listen, you would have more points, you know, if you were order food. I do need to order food. I'm hungry. But Vinimac, you would have more points, you know, if you was, you know, nicer to people. Maybe if you don't cry conspiracy like this all the time, people will give you J points. Maybe that will happen, Vinimac. How about that? You'll get J points if you're not crying conspiracy. How about that? Yeah, I know. Stop. Why are you putting these memes of eating and all this? Right, let me turn this up because I always forget. You always have to remind me if I've left the screen like that. Vinimac's like, Vinimac, you would get more J points if you were just nicer to people and stopped crying conspiracy. I'll say that. It's not I'll eat Vinny's. You go and eat Vinny's comments. Eat Vinny's comments. So yeah, the PS5 sold 40 million, so we got that. Next, oh yeah, let's talk about that. Quickly talk about the Ratatan. So yeah, this is a Kickstarter from the. So okay, so this is like, okay, so here we go. Ratata Arts, right? So they've established a brand new studio to make this rhythm strategy game. Ratatan. It's basically Patapon, right? Helmed by Patapon series creator Hiroyuki Kotani, Ratatan will be developed in collaboration with TVT. Who's that? TVT. Right, who is Lingo? TVT. TVT is a video game developer headquartered in Sakura Gaoka, Shibuya, Tokyo, Japan, founded by Toshiyuki Yasui. And what did they make? Nothing. Well, the only other game on here... Well, they're just talking about that same game. Games developed, Ratatan. Nothing. They haven't made anything. Okay, this is like a brand new studio or something. I don't think they've made anything. But here's their quite cool website. Works. Oh, they made Redemption Reapers? Did they really make Redemption Reapers? Didn't that low-key flop? Didn't this flop? Because it came out and it was it even in the Famitsu chart? I feel like it flopped. I don't even think it charted. Something Emergence. What else is on here? I don't even know who. I don't. Yeah, soon. I'm pretty sure Redemption Reapers flopped. I have no idea what that is. That even a game? Maybe just those. Maybe just those two. Okay, so this isn't like a big or well-known company or anything like that. But anyway, that's who they're developing it with. So, it includes artists Nel, main sound designer Kemi Adachi, and Dot Hack series director Nakasha. A Kickstarter campaign will launch on July 31st. Oh, it hasn't even launched yet. Okay, so it's not live yet. July 31st at 9 AM PT / 12 PM ET, with initial release goal on PC. Support for quote modern consoles is planned via a stretch goal, with Red Art Games pardon me, signed on to distribute a physical release of the edition in the West. Okay, so if they've had this physical edition thing planned out, then they are thinking they're gonna hit this stretch goal, because there's no physical for PC, obviously. So they must be thinking they're gonna do this. Get details below. What is Ratatan? Ratatan's gameplay incorporates a unique combination of rhythm and strategy, where the player takes on the role of a conductor controlling the actions of a cute army of Ratatan characters. Using commands on the controller, each button represents one of 4 musical phrases and must be struck in sync with an established rhythm in order to give instructions to the army. Ratatan doubles down on a musical theme by introducing characters equipped with musical instruments that can unleash special skills in battle, along with a more modern movement system, while maintaining the same 4-beat attack defense gameplay that fans love. Well, obviously they're referring to Patapon when they're saying that, because they haven't made any other games. So yeah, so that with a variety of stretch goals. Oh, they're using that. So that's the engine. They're using their engine for the game. But they're using TVT's very own Fairy engine. It says will be utilised for stable and expansive online multiplayer gameplay experience, allowing players to march forward with a band of friends anywhere in the world. So there's going to be multiplayer in this game. All they're hoping there is, it looks like. It's a trailer we already looked at. Now there was another thing where the creator of this said something about and commented on Patapon, but I don't know where that article is. Does Gematsu have that? Gematsu, do you have it? Maybe it's not here. Do they have that? Do they have that article? News. Okay, maybe it was in this. I'm just looking at this article. I don't know where that is. But anyway, the creator did say something about. They said something about Patapon and Sony, about like going on over here on the Discord? Something's going on over there. What's going on this Discord? Okay, you're just talking about stuff that I've been saying for years. Okay, so there we go. I don't have the article. I don't have where this creator did say something about Patapon, and they said something like Sony might make it, or they thought Sony would or they could make a new Patapon with Sony. Or so I wanted to find the article and see the exact words. They said something like that because I read that and I'm like, yeah, ain't no way Sony's making a new Patapon. That ain't happening. Why are you going off making a Kickstarter if they even wanted to do that? They're like, oh, it doesn't mean we're not going to make Patapon in the future, or something like that. Does somebody have that article? I can't even remember where I read that. Maybe it was to a Japanese outlet, but yeah, they definitely said that. But I don't have it in front of me, so I can't comment on it. Okay, so let's finish this. Oh, so you what? Hang on, is that it? Oh, is this it? Johannes, is that it? Did you actually find it? Is this actually it? Team behind PlayStation's Patapon reveal successor game Ratatan. Is this it? Oh no, this is it! Oh my god, Johannes found it! Johannes actually found it! A spiritual successor to PlayStation's classic rhythm action game Patapon was unveiled at Bit Summit in Kyoto, Japan on Saturday. Ratatan is being developed for unspecified platforms by Patapon creator Hiroyuki Kotani, with audio by original Patapon musician Kem Adachi. So they got the whole band back together to make this game. The game will be crowdfunded by Kickstarter, with the campaign due to start on July 31st. Originally released for the PSP handheld in 2007. Oh my god, that's like almost 20 years ago. Patapon is a rhythm-based 2D platform/action game in which players command a army of cute anthropomorphic eyeballs known as Patapons that can be commanded to move forward, attack, defend, and retreat by using the sequence of jump keys, right? Which is, this game is almost the same. The game received 2 sequels on PSP, and the first 2 games were remastered with 4K visuals on PlayStation 4. Few details on Ratatan were revealed during its Bit Summit panel, but the game's developers told VGC in a private meeting ahead of the reveal of the game that the game would include roguelike elements and multiplayer for up to 4 players. The 3 main concepts are over 100 cute characters fighting it out on the screen, 4-player simultaneous battles, and more adventure roguelike elements than Patapon had, explained producer Kazuto Sakajiri in an interview with VGC. Hiroyuki Kotani, who designed the original Patapon game, said he wanted to make a Patapon-like experience but with new elements. Well, here we go. He said he didn't rule out working with Sony on an additional sequel in the future. Patapon was a really unique experience at the time of its release and reflected the development environment of that era. We wanted to make another game like that for the modern age, he said. There's a possibility of maybe doing a Patapon sequel in the future, but for this we really wanted to make our own game in our own style with specific types of gameplay that reflect what we want. After that, if there's a chance to speak to Sony about doing a Patapon sequel, then we'll go from there. I mean, that kind of implies that they didn't go to Sony in the first place or something. If there's a chance to speak to Sony about doing a Patapon sequel in the future, we'll go from there. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, ain't no way Sony's making a Patapon sequel. That is not happening. They're not doing that. Especially after seeing that they've gone and done, the team behind those games has gone and done a Kickstarter and they're making some other games. Even if they went to them after, Sony would be like, well, you just made your own game. What do you know? So, but they're saying they wanted their own game, but then they make a game that's like, visually it looks different to Patapon. Obviously, it doesn't look the same. Oh my god, it's so similar. It's so similar. Like, I don't know, man. That's what they're saying. I'm gonna get rid of this nonsense. Sony Japan Studio, the Tokyo-based PlayStation studio who led development on the Patapon games, was closed in 2001. However, Kotani said he had no ill feelings towards his former employer. Even if Japan Studio itself doesn't exist anymore, there's still a lot of creative energy at Sony, and I'm looking forward to the types of projects that are going to come from them, he said. There's still a lot of support coming from Sony for developers in Japan. There are so many Sony games released with a worldwide focus, but there are also developers like Capcom with a Japanese focus. I'm happy to see both approaches coming out. And that last bit is really interesting, what he said. First of all, he's saying that Capcom has a Japanese focus. Do they? Capcom has a Japanese focus. I mean, their main like you could say Monster Hunter. I guess is what they're kind of referring to. It's more like Monster Hunter rather than Resident Evil, which has declined and declined. But Monster Hunter has stayed like popular in Japan. So I guess that's what he's got in mind. What he's saying, if I had to interpret what he's saying here. But so there's still a lot of support for PlayStation developers from PlayStation for developers in Japan. I mean, yes, obviously they still do support developers in Japan. It's not like they're when people say, oh, they've abandoned Japan, it doesn't mean they're not providing any development support and getting the game. Obviously, pretty much every single Japanese game releases on PlayStation still to this day. Now, we talk about the low sales of the games on PlayStation, but they're still releasing there. They haven't stopped releasing there. The only games that are not releasing there are like really like niche, like visual novels and stuff like that. That's super niche stuff where their audience is like that kind of handheld audience and stuff like that. So those are only things that have got. I mean, they used to be on the Vita and that, right? So they're completely moved over to Switch now. But everything else releases on PlayStation. So yes, of course, there's support from that. But he said this. Then he said this part. There are so many Sony games being released with a worldwide focus. I mean, he's just talking about just PlayStation Studios games, I guess, right? Because he has Sony games. So I don't know if he's not just talking about games on PlayStation. He means games made by Sony, I guess, is what I would say. He's saying, but Sony games have a worldwide focus, but developers like Capcom with a Japanese focus. Everyone thinks about that. So yeah, interesting. Thank you. Oh my god, I can't believe Johannes is see. So this is why Johannes is in the lead on this goddamn leaderboard. I don't know if I can give you any rep because I'm probably still on cooldown, but I do think you deserve one for finding that article for me that I didn't even know where the hell that article was that I read. It was a VGC article. I don't know if I can give any more rep at the moment, to be honest. I think it won't let me. I'll try. Oh no, it worked. There you go. That's why Johannes is in the goddamn lead. Okay, thank you so much for that article. So let's look. Yeah, I'm gonna look at that later. And that. Kike wants me to use this red Pikmin picture. Oh, that's just my Twitter. I'm just looking and seeing what I'd like. We are basically finishing up the show now. Oh yeah, Capcom's financial report. There are some figures here. Genki tweeted this out, like, oh, net sales plus up 73%, operating income plus 9. I mean, all this is boring. It means nothing to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. But they sold 13.5 million units in Q1 plus 15. So that's interesting. Oh, they're doing a collaboration with Fall Guys. Red Hood says Final Fantasy 14 is doing a collaboration with Fall Guys. That's hilarious. Yeah, they've done a load of like we talked about the Yokai Watch one. And I'm so jealous. You go into Final Fantasy 14 and it's people walking around with a goddamn Japan minion. I'm so jealous. Anyway, because you can't get them anymore. Should I post it to it? Yeah, you can post it. I don't know if Red Hood is listening. You can post it. Capcom owns a wealth of globally popular brands originating from its games. So here's the total up-to-date sales. Resident Evil series, 146 million units. Monster Hunter series, 94 million units. That includes, it says Monster Hunter, I guess this is an update. Monster Hunter Rise, Sunbreak, tops cumulative 6 million units in sales. Street Fighter series, 52 million units. And then it says Street Fighter 6, the latest title in the series, sells over 2 million units cumulatively as of July 7th, 2023. Mega Man series, 40 million units. Devil May Cry series, 29 million units. And Dragon's Dogma series, 7.7 million units. Which is more impressive because that's just one game. They're making a new one. But to date, there's only one game released, so that's impressive for one game. I guess it's been out for like 10 years or something, but yeah, that's pretty good. So that's their financials. And what is this trying to play? Oh, sorry, this is my stream. Playing my stream. Oh yeah, and Capcom acquired a studio. This studio makes 3D computer animation graphics, and they worked on, I want to say they worked on Final Fantasy, they did do some work on Final Fantasy 16 and some other Capcom games like I know Final Fantasy 14 is not Capcom games, don't come at me, and other games that Capcom made, like I think they're on Street Fighter 6 and so on. So yeah, they acquired them for animation work. So there you go. Patrick wanted me to talk about the Idol Master. Patrick, listen, if you want to talk about the Idol Master, please come on the show. I know what the Idol Master is, so you know, I'm aware of what it is, but it's a Japan only series that's never been released outside of Japan, as far as I know. Nobody knows about this. It's a rhythm game that's kind of like Hatsune Miku, but with a whole bunch of different idols. So Patrick, like, if you want to talk about, you need to come on the show to talk about it. So here's an article that's just saying they're releasing a mobile game or something. I don't know if they're even going to be making console games at this point, because they refuse to put the games on the Switch, and if they don't put them on the last one flopped, it was on PlayStation 4 in like it was like a couple of years ago. So it seems like their choice is either put the game on the Switch or just not make any Idol Master games at all. So they've chosen the latter, and they're only making mobile games, and I think maybe a VR game or something. Let me hit translate on this. They announced a brand new they announced a smartphone game. So I don't know. Patrick wanted me to mention that, so Patrick is Wolf Bunny on our server. Patrick, if you want to talk about this in depth, you need to come on the show. Alright, so that's all I can say about that, really. There was this, now I can't really talk about this because I don't have any context for it. So a Japanese kind of Twitch streamer tweeted out this about Yoshi P's commenting about negative comments from Japanese players on Final Fantasy 16, sorry. But I don't know, I don't have the, I think Johanna sent me a link to it, but we're not going to watch that now because it's all in Japanese, and we're not going to understand what's been said. So, and I don't know what the comments are that he's referring to. So if I could see the comments, if we knew what the comments were, then we could talk about this in depth. But since it isn't, we can't. So, other news: a sequel to Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl was announced, which I was surprised because the first game kind of fizzled out. But they announced a sequel, and the sequel will have voice acting at launch, unlike the first game. So, and they announced, God, who's this character here? Who's this character? They have more of a budget, yeah. I guess they put money into it, yeah. They put like voice acting. You think like, why are they pointing out this voice acting? Because the first game didn't have it. And people criticised the first game for not having any voice acting at all from the characters. And they did patch in some voice acting after. So yeah, this is going to be a full pass game. They've even got a deluxe version that's $70 basically. And season pass, ultimate edition, and all of this. So let's take a quick look at the announcement trailer here. It's 2 minutes long. By the way, am I showing the right screen before I do this? Am I actually showing the right screen? I am. Okay. Oh my god, I don't know about F up. Every time I keep effing up with these screens, I'm sorry. I'm sorry everyone. So I don't know which of these characters were in the previous game. Or which ones are new. Yeah, they're kind of playing into the memes here with what's this? Squidward? I don't know what his character. SpongeBob. So they brought him in. I guess this is a new character.
Everybody's an idiot except for me.
Squidward, that's it. Faces the music. So they're playing into the memes, obviously, like, with all of this. I'm so surprised because the other game of this only came out like 2 years ago, maybe. So have a sequel already when that game kind of fizzled out. But this is maybe they decided to do this rather than trying to update the old game. They thought it'd be better to just make a new one, but make it better. Because look, it looks way better. That's how the old one was. We look at that. Oh, I've got too far. You see what the old one looked like and then what the new one looks like. Oh, sorry, I rewinded it too far. What did I do? Yeah, it looks way better. What they did. Better stages and everything, so hopefully this time around they can keep it all. The thing is that these type of fighting games, online multiplayer games, you need to keep people interested in it. And they were not able to do that with the previous game. It dropped off hard really fast. People were excited for it, but then it dropped off. The reason why it dropped off and why it wasn't great was that they decided to make it for like a competitive community only. They didn't really think about like the you know, that is like a lot of casual players that would be more interested in a game like this. And that's where I think that's where they made their mistake on the first game. So hopefully that, you know, they've thought about that more and made this more casual friendly. There we go. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 was announced. So, there we go. More of a budget this time, apparently. When did it say it's launching again? I didn't even look at the thing. When is it launching? Did they give a date? Oh, in the fall, it says. So later this year. The first one came out. Good, really? It was 2 years ago. Okay, so this is the meme. I don't know what episode of SpongeBob that is from, but October, so exactly 2 years. It's coming out the same week as Mario, Spider-Man, Sonic and Naruto, is it? Are they done? Is it really coming out that same week? Oh, that's so dumb. Hang on, did they say that? Wait, no, hang on, that's the date for the old one. They didn't give a date, they just said fall. No. The Kika, that's the date for the old one. This new one is, they didn't give a date. Did they? This is fall on here. Oh, pre-orders are up, really? October 24th. Oh, okay, it is the same week then. Okay, well they are dumb. Wah wah. Wah 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 wah. That's kind of dumb. Red Hood says, it didn't help during when it came out or they were doing DLC or whatever for the game. The final DLC for Smash Bros. Was Sora from Kingdom Hearts series. Never wanted to play with him instead of playing All Stars Brawl 1. I mean, that makes sense. You know, this game hasn't got the budget to afford to get like a equivalent of Sora from Kingdom Hearts, right? They're not paying Disney for that. Kika says, yeah, but Smash is done. Oh yeah, it's done with updates. It's done with new characters. J2 Blue says it's a week after Mario Wonder, but it's definitely not a good month to release that now. I wouldn't have thought so. Yeah, basically. Kika says it's up against Mario, Spider-Man, Sonic, and Naruto. Are they all the same week? That's wild. Yeah, I don't know why. You know why it's that week? Because they want it to be like just before the holiday season. Sam Atlas, it is Nickelodeon All-Star Balls 2. That's coming out October 24th. 4 days after my birthday. Yeah, it is. It's a packed week. It's a very packed week. Very packed week. J2 Blue says, I mean, Johannes kind of disapproves though. Of what? He has the most points. Yeah, how does Johannes disapprove? Of what? Getting all the points? Johannes has those points fair and square. Yeah, Johannes earns those points fair and square, J2 Blue. If you want more points, then you know what to do, right? You know, the other thing is, if you give more points to people, they're probably more likely to give you points as well. So think about giving other people points. Anybody can give somebody points by atting them and saying thank you. So Johannes is a very nice, helpful person. That's why they've got a lot of points. Vinnie Max says at G2, but Jodie, our leader, and our Mouse Sergeant at Arms are number 2 and 3. Yes, because obviously people are giving us points because we're on the server all the time, like doing everything. So we end up getting points, Vinnie Mac. That's why. Disapprove, not approve. Or disprove. Oh, you agree? Oh, you mean disprove. Oh, was that an autocorrect? Oh no, I read it wrong. Okay, no, I read it. Sorry. You meant Johannes kind of disapproves that though, because you put just disapproves that. So I thought it meant disapprove. Okay. Sorry, I misread it because I'm a dummy. That's why, basically. Okay, so I feel like we are at the end of the show now. So we'll just put the lo-fi up on for a sec. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. Thank you. You're in the waiting room, Vinnie Mac. I'm ending the show. We're coming quickly, but I am going to end in a sec, Vinnie Mac. Are you here to dispute the J Points leaderboard? Is that why you're here? Vinnie Mac, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can.
Hi, how you doing today? How's our queen doing? Great show as always.
I'm okay. I don't know about being a queen though.
No, you are the queen of the server. Thank you so much for putting together another great show.
Oh,
I wanted to
thank
chit
you.
chat with you about Sea of Stars. I know Sea of Stars, I believe, was noticed
yeah.
as getting a day one release on PlayStation Network. So it looks like you have Xbox Game Pass is getting Sea of Stars day one. PlayStation Plus is getting this day one, so that leaves the Switch. And this was a Kickstarter campaign, so I wanted to chit chat about whether or not this is good or bad for the industry as a whole. Not for Sea of Stars. The Sea of Stars, as of right now, everything is profit because they already got their money from the assumed sales from PlayStation and Xbox. But is it good for Sea of Stars? And I'm interested in your opinion on that. I don't think it is.
I mean, it's probably good for the devs to get. I mean, they're going into 2 subscription services, right? They're getting a bag from each. So, and if they already had a successful Kickstarter, that means they already got all the money from Kickstarter, plus all the money from these sub-servers, plus whatever deal they have with whatever publisher that they're with. So they're probably
from a
doing
sales
all right.
perspective. So then, from a sales perspective, is this an automatic success?
Oh no! I mean, if you're talking about the amount of units it's going to sell, obviously it's going to sell less than it would have done because it's in subscription services. But in terms of like the actual devs and the money they're getting, they'd probably be fine. I mean, I don't know how much money they've got, and you know, it's what deal they've got. Are they going to get like money per download, or do they just get an upfront bag? Or I mean, it's probably an upfront bag, to be honest with you, since it's an indie game. But
yeah, so the way, since we don't really know how really subscription services work yet, I'm sure that information will come eventually. But so I'm going to assume, and just for the sake of our conversation, that it is assumed sales. So if there wasn't a Game Pass bag, if there wasn't a PlayStation bag, then Sea of Stars would be up against everything else, and it would just have to prove itself by sales, whatever, capitalism, free market, whatever. So because they're on the subscription service, Xbox's PlayStation are doing assumed sales. So for the sake of conversation, let's say 10,000 apiece. So Xbox is buying 10,000 wholesale, PlayStation is buying 10,000 wholesale, which means now for it to make any additional money, it needs to sell on the Switch. So let's just say that. So because they already have those assumed sales, from a sales perspective, is it an automatic success? Do we now need to root for this game to succeed if both PlayStation and Xbox are paying the assumed sales for it to be on a subscription base? Because very few people
the thing
buy
is
the
that you're
Xbox
saying assumed sales. The thing is that you've made some assumptions there about like they're getting upfront money and stuff. We don't know how it's kind of worked. We have no idea how it's worked out.
How else?
The game is going to be releasing on all platforms, right? So it will sell as well, and I believe there is actually a physical version. I think there's a physical version of this game.
So because it's a day one Game Pass, you're saying that it will still sell well on those subscription based platforms?
No, what I mean is like I don't think because the Game Pass is going to cannibalize whatever sales it would have got. It's an indie game. It's a single player, JRPG style indie game. It's not going to, either like if it's in a subscription service, it's something probably where you'd be browsing that store or the the catalog of Game Pass or PS Plus or whatever. You'd see it and you'd play it, for a bit, or maybe you play the whole game. But it's like you'd see it like, oh, let me check that out. That's the new game. It's and then you're done with it, right? Because it's not a multiplayer game or anything like that. So,
right. So you're more connected to these types of conversations than I am. I'm just a casual.
I'm not really. I don't know. A
just
lot
casually plays video games and casually dabbles in the sales talk. But if it's not assumed sales, again, since we don't know how it works, we just know that for it to go on a subscription service, there are some money that's upfront. The way I'm thinking of this is that it has to be assumed sales. It's not assumed sales. You're not for a game like let's put Sea of Stars aside. Let's go with Persona 3 Reload. Since Persona 3 Reload,
I have no idea. They could have made that a completely different. I mean, that one's only on Game Pass, not on the PS Plus thing. But they could have made a. They could have. I would imagine the the deal that they made for that would be completely different from what they made for Sea of Stars. But I don't know because we've never really gotten any concrete details on what. Or the only thing I've heard is that Microsoft said that every deal that they make is different. They don't even offer everyone the same deal. Since they offer everyone a different deal, they must probably make an offer of what they think that game is worth to them,
So
and then maybe they
you don't
negotiate.
think, so for Game Pass specifically, you don't because some games come on day one. You don't think a deal is made because of assumed sales? Because if a game is on Game Pass, why am I, an Xbox player, going to buy that game if I can just play it on Game Pass?
I mean, probably, yeah. I mean, and if you're saying does Game Pass cannibalize sales? Yeah, it does.
Okay, so then going back to my Sea of Stars original point, then should we consider Sea of Stars a financial success because it's on day one for both PlayStation and Xbox? It's now a financial success without the game even coming out.
I mean, this is the thing. The game isn't out yet, so it. On the surface, we can say, well, maybe they got a bag, but until the game is actually released, then we won't know about whether it's gonna. We can't say if it's successful or not before, or it's financially successful or not before it's released, because we don't know how much that game cost to develop. We don't know how much.
We do know that because it was a Kickstarter. So I believe it was 150 million. So it was 1.5 million for it to reach this goal. Okay, so we know for them to break even, and I put that in quotations. I'm not sure how Kickstarter works in terms of breaking even, but to break even, you have to hit 1.5 million. So to be fair, let's say the game's coming out for what, $30 a piece. You're gonna the Xbox buys 10,000 wholesale, PlayStation buys 10,000 wholesale. That's 20,000 units sold because it's on a subscription platform. You may have a couple of people buy on PlayStation, a couple of people buy on Xbox, some people buy on Nintendo. So without actually releasing the game yet, you already made, according to my numbers here, 60,000 already.
But you're making up these numbers though. That's the only problem.
How do you think that deal is made? I think it's assumed sales. I think for Persona 3 Reload on Xbox, say Sega and Xbox come together and say, okay, we are going to predict, I'm making up numbers here, that on the Xbox platform alone, this game would have sold 50,000. So then they come to an agreement based on that 50,000. Okay, well, you know what? We'll pay for 40,000 up front. Okay, deal. And then they write the check.
The only issue with bringing up that particular deal with Atlas is that Atlas games just wouldn't sell for shit on. So I shouldn't swear. I'm not supposed to swear on this show. Sorry, my bad. They wouldn't sell on Xbox, right? I have a feeling, in particular, that Microsoft probably overpaid for those games just because they want them on. They probably ended up paying more than what it would have done, what they would, because they wouldn't have sold hardly anything. So they probably did they just compensate them from what they would have those games wouldn't have sold hardly anything. So they most likely overpaid, and they're probably doing that for it's a loss leader to attract people to the service overall, to say, look, we have this variety of games, come to this service. I think that's a loss leader. I think they overpaid just to get those games on the platform, and the reason they went after Atlas and not like Atelier Games or something like that is because they were being begged by fanboys on Twitter for like years, and all these different YouTubers and stuff like that who wanted Persona 5. Why did they want Persona 5? Because Persona 5 was a PlayStation exclusive that was critically acclaimed, and they wanted that game so that, because once they have that game, well, now it's not exclusive to PlayStation anymore. We took an exclusive away from them, and ever since that happened, none of these Xbox fanboys, all these YouTubers and all of that, apart from, yes, it's Mr. Matty Plays, but he's not like he's not a fanboy, right? They didn't mention when the games leaked. They didn't care. They're not talking about it because a game that's launching at a multi-player, then they're not it's not an exclusive that's being taken away from Sony, so they don't care about that. And I think that, Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, whoever will go on and set up these deals, they're not aware of all of that. They're just like, oh, well, people are asking for these games, so let's go and pay for them. We'll go and get, why did they, like I said, out of all the Japanese games, all these games that are not releasing on Xbox, why did they go after Atlas and not any of like these Atelier games
Well,
or
I don't want to
no, hang on, all these
uh,
NIS games when they went to Square Enix to get Final, which they went to them years ago, by the way, to get Final Fantasy 14 on Xbox, and they finally did it. Why did they do that and not say to Square Enix, where's Legend of Mana? Let's get Legend of Mana on it didn't go into all of that, all those that just called them that stupid article about the relationship with Square Enix and Microsoft is fundamentally broken just because they didn't release a couple of little niche games on Xbox, right? Why didn't Xbox make deals for all of those? Get all those Square, because they know those games are not going to do anything, and if nobody's going to care if those games go into Game Pass. But Persona 5, the Atlas game that blew up, that had a name for it, especially obviously a few years ago. So we get that, and we get, they obviously made some sort of multi-year deal for to get all these Atlas games. Otherwise, Atlas was not going to publish any games on Xbox because they do not sell over there. And they did a gigantic marketed Persona 5 for Game Pass as though it was a brand new game that had just come out. It was worldwide billboards, all this everywhere, right? They said, I think they overpaid. Yes, I think they paid way more. They probably lost. I think it's a loss leader for that. If you really Mac, give me a couple of minutes. I need to turn on the lights in my flat. I'm sitting here in the dark.
So just my point as our host is turning on some lights in the dark there. I just think when it comes down to Sea of Stars, I understand that the game is a niche game coming out, is really reminiscent of that 90s RPG. And to have that Game Pass bag up front, to have that Kickstarter bag up front, to have that PlayStation game up front, I'm questioning whether or not there used to be a time where you used to root for games to succeed. But with all these subscription-based models now, I'm wondering if we are losing the way to root for this game to succeed. Because already on PlayStation, it's assuming sales. Again, I understand that we're not sure how that works. But for subscription-based models, we have no choice. We have to, for a game to be on a subscription-based model, it only makes sense to have some assumed sales, or else why have the deal? So if you can make more money actually selling the game, then you just sell the game. If you can get a check up front, then it has to be assumed sales. And it has to be, Starfield on... That's a bad example. But Persona 5 Reload, Starfield. You got me saying Starfield again. Persona 5 Reload, Sea of Stars. That's what I want to say. I'm wondering if we can now consider those games a financial success because Persona 3 Reload is getting that Game Pass deal. In my eyes, it's now a financial success.
It's a financial success for Atlas because I don't know this for a fact, but I think they probably overpaid for it. You're saying if they were being compensated from what it would have sold on Xbox, we know that those games would have sold hardly anything on Xbox. They must have had to pay them more for whatever they would have sold, which is why I think they overpaid for them.
Yes. So we can say that at least on the Xbox platform, Persona 3 Reload is a success, right?
Financially for Atlas, who knows how many people are actually going to engage for the game, but I think they got upfront money for it, and I think they made this deal 2 years ago for these games. They must have already made these games.
So in your opinion, do you think that's good for the market? Because without those deals, be rooting for Persona 3 to succeed. It will be rooting for Sea of Stars to succeed. You want that game to do well because I'm going to go out and buy one copy, 2 copies, whatever.
I want the games to do well, but overall, do I think these subscription services are a good thing overall for industry? No, probably not. They're probably, because you just have to look at other industries, what happened that went into these subscription services and what happened to, for example, in the music industry, what happens there. It wasn't good, especially for smaller artists and stuff like that.
You know what?
Getting paid peanuts per play on Spotify or whatever, and how all of that's been completely cannibalized by the subscription services. Overall, it's probably not a good thing. No, I don't think so.
You do bring up a good point in terms of residuals and streaming and all that. You do bring up an excellent point when it comes down to that. Maybe the deal is if we give you X amount of dollars up front, you don't get too much of a residual bonus as well. So if it does blow up on Game Pass, you just lose out on that money because you have the guaranteed money up front. I'm sure all that is built into the
I think
contract,
I think for some of these deals there is a trade-off like that. Yeah.
So, yeah, I was interested in that because when I saw that Sea of Stars was going to be PlayStation Plus day one, of course that's to directly combat with Game Pass, which, if we all remember, was on a Nintendo Indies showcase. So this was not part of a Nintendo Direct. This was an Indies showcase that kind of like just blew up. So
they had a demo. There's because I think Jago mentioned about an NSO game trial, but there's already a demo, Jago. So I don't know if they really need to have a game trial. So I think this particular, it did kind of blew up. There's a lot of interest after it was featured in that Indie Direct, and I think probably off the back of that they managed to broker these deals with Sony and Microsoft. And I believe it's the first time we've ever seen any game that's launching in both day one. I don't think there's been any other one where that's happened.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Silksong, but again, that's another game. It's a little bit of different because it's kind of like DLC, expanded DLC, Tears of the Kingdom style game with that.
Don't start that
DLC
again.
And then expanded
don't
into
start
its
that
own
again. I think. I mean, it started off as a DLC, but I think Silksong's basically standalone now. You don't need.
Well, yeah, but it was originally a DLC. It was originally DLC. And then just exploded on its own thing. So even that game is getting its own Game Pass deal.
So that game got a Game Pass deal, and actually there's no release date for that. I think it got delayed or something, right? It got delayed.
I think we're going to hear something around Game Award season. I wouldn't be surprised if Keighley has a trailer in his back pocket regarding that.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, but I guess it's delayed into next year, right? So
probably, yeah. I think they did say they don't have anything to share for the rest of the year or late this year or whatever.
Okay, yeah, right. I'm not surprised. Johannes says it's going to be free for backers. What, for backers of the original Hollow Knight?
Right. Yeah. Maybe the original idea was. But I mean, it expanded into a different scope. It's almost a different game now.
Oh, did they also? Okay, so they originally announced this as DLC, one of the stretch goals or something. So the backers are going to get it for free.
Yeah. So originally, Silksong was DLC, and then just took on a mind of his own. So I'll be surprised if they still say we're going to keep our promise. You backers get it for free. I'll be surprised by that because it feels like it's getting its own fame.
Johannes reckons that it is, but I don't know. Kike says yes as well. Kike says yes. They're gonna get it for free.
Right now,
I guess if they already made that they already made that promise. It's not the backers' fault that they took so long and expanded it into a new full game. Okay, Johannes has a screenshot. Let me share this on the thingamajigger. Okay, so it says 2,158 backers. You've heard it before, but Hollow Knight and now Hornet's entire venture is thanks to you. Thanks to incredible support of players and Kickstarter backers. What started out as a tiny game jam idea has become a game bought and played by over 2.8 million people. That's impressive. As a backer, your support made this happen, so of course you'll be receiving your copy of Hollow Knight Silksong 100% free. Okay, so they are getting it free.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, thanks Johannes. Kika says they'll get it when it comes out in 2027. I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah, so that's 2.8 million. Wow, that's just a little indie game. So sometimes the indie games can blow up like that. Yeah.
Start off the PC and then kind of migrated to Switch, where it kind of blew up from there.
And listen, I tried to play that game because my friend was raving. My friend was raving about this game for ages. I thought, okay, I'll play it, and I couldn't finish it, man. Like it was so hard. I got lost. I was bamboozled. I was backtracking all over the place. And then once you die, like you have to go back and collect all the what are these things called, the shells or something like that. What little shells or things these little things you pick up, they look like little beetle cases. You have to pick them up, and then you have to go back and go. If you drop all those, you've got to go and get them again. And then you had oh my god, and then I just couldn't get past one of the bosses, and I'm like, F it. I'm done.
Yeah, the game was hard up to like a point where you kind of balance yourself out, power yourself up, and then it becomes tolerable. But it is a game where you got to play its way. So you're gonna try to brute force your way through it. Unless you're good at those types of games, you're not gonna have a good time.
And I must have played that game for like 20 hours, and I couldn't finish it.
So
I just gave up.
That was my major thing. I guess I was interested because I'm rooting, and I put that in quotations, for CSR to succeed because it brings me back to my own Super Nintendo days back in the 90s. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the game. But if it's getting all these Game Pass deals, I wonder now we're taking the consumer out of it now. So now there's no longer
that's what you mean.
Yeah, okay, so there's no longer a vested interest because now there's guaranteed money up front.
There's guaranteed money up front, and it can. So the thing is with this, right? This is a Kickstarter game from, I'm assuming, like a new studio or new studio or whatever. So it can be good for a studio that's just started. For certain small indie games, it can be good for them. I think where it becomes an issue is when you're talking about bigger games, other stuff that's not like very small indie games. I think that's where it becomes a really huge issue. But for these little indie games that wouldn't have got this money otherwise, and them having guaranteed money means that they have like a guaranteed income, and they can continue. It can help them to keep the lights on in some cases, right? But it's a different case for like a really big a studio that's like way bigger, and they're already established and everything. We were just talking about Atlas and stuff like that. Is it?
Yeah, I want to bring you off that Atlas train because I hear you revving up.
No, I am revving up. I need to finish the show. I am kind of. Oh my god, it's getting me started now. Yes,
right.
Atlas, the most fraudulent company on the face of the earth, by the way. Atlas is so fraudulent. I don't care. Atlas stands, come at me. Spencer, David Carl's JRPGs, the King No Kami, come at me and try and tell me Atlas is not fraudulent. Come at me, please.
Right. So my last question regarding this, and then I'll drop off and let you go on your Atlas rant. So do you believe as a sales analyst that CSRs would have profited more if it was just standalone on its own, with the hype and the anticipation that it has now?
First of all,
do you think they played themselves by taking the guaranteed money?
Oh, they played them. See, that comes out. Vinnie Mac thinks they played themselves. I'm not a sales analyst. That's the first thing. I'm just a regular Joe Schmo who likes to talk about video games. That's the first thing. But to give my opinion, do I think they played themselves? Yeah, because there was that whole Twitter space when it was announced that it was going to also be in. There was a whole Twitter about space and it said, "Did CSRs play themselves?" CSRs play themselves. Yeah, I only listened to about 5 minutes of it, and they were really genuinely talking about that. And I was just like, what?
That's interesting. But in your opinion, do you think, based on the anticipation of that particular game, it's coming out on all platforms, including PC, I believe.
Yes.
Do you think they would have made more money standing on their own, or is it always better to take the guaranteed money for these types of games?
How can I say that when I don't know how much they've been paid?
I'm asking your opinion.
My opinion, I think because we're talking about not just a random indie game. We're talking about an indie game because I have heard this is a little small indie game. I've seen so much buzz and positive feedback for this indie game based on like the demo and everything, right? You don't see that for hardly any indie games that happens for. There are very, 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 very few indie games that happens for, right?
I agree with you.
But this particular one, there has been a lot of buzz from it about it. not only buzz because it was revealed in Nintendo Direct, but it's a multi-platform game, right? So this is
well. Originally, it was a Nintendo game, and then it moved on to, I think Xbox got it second, and then I think they just a month ago said it's coming to PlayStation.
Okay, so maybe those deals enabled them to be able to release on those platforms that they wouldn't have been able to release on otherwise. That's what it seems like. Maybe they only had the money to publish on PC and Switch originally, and then doing these deals enabled them to release the game also on Xbox. That's what it sounds like to me, and then also on PlayStation. Then yeah, that's a bonus. I would say that's a win for them as a very small indie dev. That there is a lot of interest in this game. People are very interested. No, actually, it wasn't that. No, I think it was announced for PlayStation before, not just now, because the demo was already on PlayStation. But yeah, it was just announced for the PS Plus Extra recently.
Right.
Yes, I think it's for that indie game, but yeah, like I said, there's not many indie games that kind of are like that, where it has that kind of buzz, unless it's like an exclusive one that's been promoted particularly by a platform holder, which yes, it was revealed at the Nintendo thing, but it's now on all platforms, and I think there are people from all different that have all different platforms that are excited for this game, that is rare, I would say.
I'm not going to let you go without answering this question, Jay. In your opinion, would they have done better standing on their own, or do you agree with taking the guaranteed subscription money? I'm not going to let you go until you say that.
In this case, in this specific case, for this very small indie game, the bag, they probably have more benefit from taking the bag than not, because how much would this game have? We could look at the style of game. This is. We said it takes you back to your Super Nintendo games. They've really made this kind of like a Chrono Trigger kind of, turn-based JRPG style game. It's in that, like, not just any old one. It's in the style of those Super Nintendo games, right? It's in that style, right?
But you do know that Chain Echoes that just came out last year did exceptionally well. We do know that.
Right. So, and that was in a similar style, right? That game.
That was in a similar style, but it did not have. I think it was on Game Pass. I know it wasn't on PlayStation, and of course, it wasn't on any type of Switch subscription service. But that game, standing on its own, minus Xbox side, it did really well.
It wasn't on PlayStation Plus.
Sea of Stars is now a step back because they're taking that Xbox guaranteed money. So
how's that step back? You've already made up your mind. Keep thinking about it. No matter what I say, you've already made up your mind about this, right? How's it a step back? It's not even the same dev.
I think the game is good enough to have stood on its own. Yes, it's coming out in August. PlayStation doesn't have any marquee games. I think Nintendo has Detective Pikachu, so that's not really a marquee game of August. And Xbox doesn't have anything till Starfield, so it is kind of creeping up against Starfield, but not really. I think with the way the game was positioned, the game could have sold well on its own. You didn't need that guaranteed money. No, I can be wrong. The game can come out and review horribly. So then they got their guaranteed money.
I doubt it because of
but it could. It is a possibility. So then in that case, if it's bad or yellow or low green, whatever, then yes, it's good for them to take the guaranteed money. But let's say the score is at an 889. Then on its own, a lot of people would have said, okay, you know what? I don't have anything to play right now. I'm getting ready to school, going back to college. Let me get myself ready. I got a game I can play real quick. I think it would have done better staying on its own.
It's probably not a quick game.
I'm sure it's about maybe 20, 25 hours. I don't think it's going to be like a 50.
Maybe not. But I think because of the style of game it is, like they literally tried to make it look like a SNES game, right? They literally tried to make it look like that. So I think it's the type of game that wouldn't have sold crazy well on PlayStation or Xbox, just because people don't tend to go for those. No, it would have sold fine, not crazy well. It is the sort of game that more people on PC and Switch would have wanted to play. So those bags, in that particular case of that type of style of game, probably has helped them out a lot. That's my opinion.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm gonna let you go with that. You enjoy the rest of your show.
This man. Thank you for joining me on the show.
Talk to you all in the Discord.
Always a pleasure. Okay. Catch you later. Bye.
Bye.
And with that, we are going to bring the stream to a close. Where's my lo-fi? I'll put the lo-fi on back first. Okay. End the show with the lo-fi. Nice chill vibe. and then I will actually find the right button and not be a numpty. How about that? That'd be good. Okay. So thank you everyone who joined me today. Dank Move Center. Oh, sorry, Dank, I didn't see your comments. Obviously, he was talking about when me and Vinny were talking. Would Hades fall into the bracket? Hades, was that on Game Pass and stuff like that? I don't even know. On Xbox, you take the money up front. Would be strange not to, probably. But I think basically the comments that Microsoft has made, it seems like it's some deals. It is like they get money for you know, per download or whatever, right? So I'm not sure. They've just said it varies for game to game. They make different deals for every game. But we don't know exactly because obviously they don't reveal those details, right? So yeah. But yeah, oh, Dank says, yeah, Hades had a Game Pass option after the Switch released. Oh, I see. Okay, right. Thanks for that. Yeah, it was on PC and Switch first, right? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so thank you everyone who came out today. Dank Meme Center, thank you. Dank actually here to the end. That's amazing. Thank you for being here and for moderating. This was very, what ended up being a very, I was about to end the show, to be fair. Vinny Mac came on. Thank you, Yeshua, J2 Blue, Vinny Mac, of course, Timor, J Arthur, Red Hood, Johannes, Necroxid, Mousy, Streamnuts bot came through in the end. J2, I said J2, didn't I? Mario DK, I remember Mario DK was here for a little while as well. Roche was here for a bit. Okay. Oh, GameKiller64, I missed your comment. When did that come there? I'm very sorry, I didn't see this. GameKiller64 says, I can't wait to give Final Fantasy 16 and I guess you mean a chance and chance, but after I'm done with 16, I'm gonna catch up on the Trail series, which is massive as well. Oh yeah, awesome, Game Killer. I'm very sorry I didn't see you. I don't know how I missed that. I just didn't see that comment. Sorry about that. Yeah, Roche, Mousy, Vinny Mac, Dank, everyone. Yeshua, you were still here? What? Yeshua was here the whole time? Was he really here the whole time? Oh my gosh, I had no idea. Bye. Oh yeah, see, Jago was here for a little while. Bye, Mousy, everybody, and Kika, of course, who joined me on the show earlier during his lunch break to talk about Pikmin. The Pikmin sweep, 400,000 first week in Japan. It'd be interesting to see the worldwide sales, which I guess we're not going to get until like the next not this financial report, the one after that. So we're just not even going to know. Unless Nintendo announces it, which I doubt it because it's Pikmin. It's not a huge seller. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone. You was here all along. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. A man like Yeshua, that is absolutely. Thank you so much for sticking with us the whole time for this long ass show. That's amazing. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And Jago, who for whatever reason I decided to mod, and Jago now has mod powers and just going to use them for evil doings like trying to play Sonic music and stuff like that. No, Jago, no Sonic music. Okay, thank you everyone. Catch you next time. Bye.